Happy Sunday afternoon to my East Coasters. Good morning to my West Coasters. And, well, you're not even really waking up yet over in Australia. It's very early in the morning. If you are, you're probably just having your coffee and maybe, trying to read your paper. It's early in the morning. But good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. As Jim Carrey would say, how was everybody's weekend? I do not work Saturdays, obviously, as most of you guys know. Yesterday was also a hard one for me. It's a hard one for me. Yesterday was my dad's birthday and my nephew's birthday party, and my sister purposely made my nephew's his birthday's actually today. He turned 6, so happy birthday to my beautiful nephew. But my sister made the party on my dad's birthday on purpose because it was a way to sort of distract instead of sitting in the sadness, of him not being here. So I did not really go on social media yesterday. I checked up on everything this morning, and I'll tell you, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. When I checked up on things this morning, I was like, the shenanigans never end. They're never ending. It never freaking ends. But yeah, yesterday was a busy day, but the kids, they had fun. Me and my sister, had some conversations about, my dad and the good memories of it all, and thinking about what it would be like if he was here with the kids now. And it was nice. It was nice to sort of reminisce. And in my dad's honor, all the adults played laser tag. We played, there was like 10, 15 kids and then 10 or 15 adults. And we played kids versus adults. And then it was like a free for all. And it was a big laser tag place. It was huge inside. There were lots of places to hide behind. There was these little holes you could shoot through, and they were all sizes. They were short for the kids, tall for the adults. It was very, very cool. It was fun. We're like little kids. So my dad died very early 40s, literally barely 40. So if I have to do math, my dad died when I was 21. I am 39. So he would have been in his 60s at this point. He was a couple of years older than my mom, and my mom's almost 60. So yeah, he'd have been over 60 by now. Which I don't even think I can picture my dad being in his 60s, because he was just so young and full of life. And I think what has hit me the last couple of years is that I am almost the age that my dad was when he passed. I'm 39, so I'll be 40 at the end of this year. But it just sits there with you a little, you know what I mean? And you're like, wow, I'm almost the age that he was. And where my body feels really old, it's still so very young. And even at 21, I don't think I realized how young, it really, really, really is. It's weird. It's weird, I'll tell you that much. But my dad was someone who was one of those people who would talk to anybody. And he was super funny. And, my dad's been gone since 2008, May 15th, 2008. So it's been a really, really long time. But at the same time, it feels like yesterday. My dad was born in 1966, January 31st, 1966. So it's just crazy to me. Crazy, 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 crazy to me. If you do the math there, right? 1966 to 2008. He was very young, barely 40, One second, let me just. My phone has been going crazy since this morning. Weird. Thanks. I mean, it's been a long time. We miss my dad every day, but it was my point is my dad was a fun person, right? So playing laser tag with the other adults, it definitely felt like a great way to honor my dad. Like that's something my dad would have done because that's just who he was. He was very fun, you know? So to me, it was kind of a good way to say like, hey, this is something my dad would have been watching over us and laughing at. He probably would have been giving us tips. You know what I mean? Like, hide over there, duck under here. I could hear it in my head, like that's the things my dad would be saying. So I sometimes will think about when I'm going through a drive-thru. My dad used to mess with the people in the drive-thru and make all these different voices and stuff, and it was just so funny as kids. We got a huge kick out of it, and like that's the kind of stuff my dad did. You know what I mean? He was 42 basically when he died. That's barely 40. You know what I mean? Barely 40. So that's just 3 years off from where I am now. So it was just kind of wild to think about how young that is, and thinking about at 42, if you feel like you've not gotten in life where you want to be, and you're holding on to a lot of trauma, how that could affect you. I've thought about that many times when it comes to my dad and like what kind of things he was holding on to and dealing with inside that made him think that leaving the earth would be the best solution. So I say it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. We could have figured it out, right? We could have figured it out and helped my dad, and he would still be here with us today. But there's that stigma. There's a stigma of men specifically too, dealing with things like mental health, and if it has to do with like childhood SA or things like that, where they don't want to come forward, they don't want to talk about it. There's a stigma attached to it. There's a stigma attached to it with women too, but it's worse even for men. And I feel like that was part of the reason why my dad didn't say anything. It's unfortunate. So that's why I always say, like, nobody suffers in silence here. You guys know where to find me if there's something you want to talk about or somebody, that's that. But nonetheless, I got through it, right? I got through it. Got through the day, and here we are. So let's see. There's a lot of things that happened. And who in the hell? All right, let me just throw this out there, okay? Let me just throw this out there. Some of these pick-me bitches really need to, no one's picking you, all right? No one's fucking picking you. No one's picking you. Picking out old tweets of Babs's or anyone else's before people sort of figured out what was going on isn't the flex you seem to think it is, right? Oh, I guarantee it isn't, Allie, and I feel you. Big hugs, my friend. But it's not the kind of thing you think it is, right? This is just cray-cray to me. So let me make this very fucking clear. Babs, Astro, Carly, Shay, aka lots of Koala crew. I am one of the people who doesn't believe in the same thing when it comes to the Karen Reed case, and I can tell you I adore these ladies. They're wonderful human beings when you get to know them as people. And Babs I've been talking to a lot longer than most of the others because me and Babs talked privately for over a year and a half, just about life and Koala girls, that's right. Although I do feel left out. My picture's not in the photo, but we'll figure it out. I adore these ladies. They're amazing. And to me, all I keep seeing are these baseless attacks from pick-me bitches like Momo and Val. Take several fucking seats. especially Val. Like, you're one of the biggest hypocrites I've ever met in my life, bro. You can't talk to people who are anti-free care and free care and read together. It's horrible. They're horrible people. Like, excuse me, come again. And then she jumps on whatever space will have her. Doesn't matter who it is, right? Like, that rule only applies to, like, everyone else she doesn't like. She simps for a dude who sat there and said some pretty vile, disgusting shit about her, right? Like, give her some fucking attention already, Aiden. It's embarrassing, all right? We don't want her. Take her back to your cult. No, we didn't want her to begin with, okay? She's not a good person, right? She doesn't know whether she's up, down, or sideways. She has no fucking idea where she's at or why. Like, nonsense. Here's an idea, Val. Stay in the cult, right? Cult HQ is fucking calling, man. Like, they're paging. Stay over there, all right? Stay with your pick-me shit there. I saw some of Lana's show, but what I can say about that is it's essentially all the same things I've said 72 times. And really a lot of shit that I've said on my last show, which was her show after my show. So it's like, I mean, yeah, but it's all the same things that I've said in my own words 72 and a half times. So to me, it wasn't really like her show wasn't like eye-opening or new information, or like I've said this about all of these people. I've gone over all of this shit in depth from a behind-the-scenes view. So it didn't really give me more information. You know what I'm saying? Like, than what I have already talked about 72 times on my own show here. But Valerie's a pick-me. She has an issue, right? And I'm gonna read Babsy's tweet. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Babsy just shared a tweet here. And it just sums it up, right? She said, back in early November, I piled onto someone and I wasn't proud of it. Friends and I made apologies and have continued to do so since that day. See, that's what grown adults do. That's what grown adults do. Exactly, Allie. Why does it matter who you talk to, right? Like, yeah, she's a pick-me type biatch who gets bullied by Aiden and runs back to him when there's no one to run to, right? Sad, really, really sad. No, it's really a person. She's really a person. She's just probably very insecure. And so she thinks that jumping on spaces with a bunch of racist, weirdo people and then talking shit about anyone who the turtle doesn't like is somehow make Aiden love her or give her a pat on the back or pay attention to her. And what I can say is, from the private conversations I get, he can't fucking actually stand her. So I find that funny. She can keep jumping on that bandwagon because he can't actually fucking stand her. So, I mean, hey, what do I know? I don't know anything, right? Like, only most of the things that I tell you guys end up being posted a million times over. But hey, what do I actually fucking know? What do I? You know, today I chose it too. I chose violence today instead of peace, I guess. You know, this is it. Well, you know, I don't give him any credit for shit, but I mean, he'll just say everyone's bad. But to be point, like, we're all human beings. Like, she doesn't have a right to tell who they should speak to or why, or that it's horrible or bad. A lot of us people have started to figure out that Aiden creates chaos, and the way to create chaos is to make people not talk to each other and hate each other. Yeah, she's also obsessed with Meredith, which is fucking weird. Like, bro, she doesn't like you. She's not gonna fuck you, okay? She's not gonna fuck you. See, here's the problem with some people like Val. They think that they can post their filtered pictures online and get all dolled up for a picture online and be like, well, I'm a beautiful woman, so you should believe everything I say. See, the problem with that is you're not. You're ugly in your soul, which makes you just ugly in general, right? An ugly soul, you can do all the plastic surgery, all the lip fillers, all the fake everything you want. But when your soul is ugly, then it's just simply fucking ugly, all right? It just is. You are obsessed with people you don't even fucking know. You know nothing about what happens behind closed doors, yet you literally are the biggest hypocrite I have ever met. One side of your mouth, you say one thing, and the other side of your mouth, you're doing the exact thing you just said. It was horrible for someone else to do. Make it make sense. She's the same as Aiden, rules for everyone else, but not her, right? So Bab said, even publicly, it wasn't right. It was ugly and shameful. And Valerie seems to have someone feeding her now as a way to defend herself. She could just apologize, but she doubles down. Spaces tonight to discuss. I mean, when and at what point is it time to move the fuck on? No, she doesn't live in Massachusetts. She lives in like New York or something. Like, when is it time to move on, Val? When? Like, you don't know Meredith. You don't know me. You don't know Babs. You don't know any of these ladies. And I'll tell you, Astro, Babs, Carly, Chris even, right? Shay, Bonnie, these people are 10 times the woman you will ever be. Because they can admit when they make a mistake and publicly recognize and apologize for it. It's called being an adult, sweetheart. Something you clearly know nothing about. I mean, you can pretend until the cows come home, but people see through you like glass. Like glass. Those women are 10 times the woman you will ever be or could ever hope to be. I feel sad for you. It's quite pathetic, really, watching it all unfold. The pick me, I'll say mean things about whoever you don't like until you pay attention to me or give me one tiny little pat on the back or repeat something I said. It's sad. It's really quite sad. It shows a lack of character. It shows a huge lack of understanding of your own hypocrisy, right? A huge lack of critical thinking or understanding of 1 + 1 = 2, right? Because if the cult leader told you it was 22, you would make 72 excuses on how to make it 22 to 72 other people that you talk to. It's quite sad, really. It's very clear that you're very, very insecure. If you have to constantly talk about that you're beautiful, leads me to believe you don't think that you're quite beautiful, right? I laugh at people who call me ugly. I'm not a supermodel, but I'm surely not ugly. That's for damn sure. So I just laugh. I don't need to say or take filtered pictures of myself to prove that at all. Not even a little. I don't need to jump on spaces and disparage 72 other women because the turtle doesn't like them. Because what the turtle is saying behind closed doors about you, Val, is far worse. He thinks you're a joke. He thinks you're a loudmouth. He thinks you're an idiot. And those are his words, not mine. Sorry. Why don't you ask him what he said about you privately to people? You know, he can't help himself. He puts these things in writing like a jackass, and then those people send it to me. I mean, none of you wanted to believe me when I told you that some of these people make fun of you behind closed doors. They do. And a lot, too. Yeah, when your soul is just ugly, it's just ugly, right? I mean, I don't know how she doesn't have 17th hand embarrassment at this point. It's like, have some fucking self-respect and some self-esteem, you know? Some of it, just a little, just a smidgen. If you want to drink some Kool-Aid, drink some self-esteem Kool-Aid, darling, right? You're so worried about what Babs is saying on a Spaces while she's letting other people talk and being a civilized human being, not a fucking animal, not a caveman, but a civilized human being, that you're on Spaces 24/7. I mean, do you do anything else? Just asking for a friend. Is there anything else you do in life besides complain about wonderful, beautiful human souls that you could only dream of being as good as? I mean, is there one singular thing that you enjoy in life besides being just a really disgusting, mean person? Like, is there music? You know, outings? Doesn't seem like you go out a lot, so maybe that's not it. Let's think. Maybe it's lip filler. Maybe you love lip filler. Get a fucking hobby. It's embarrassing. I mean, you can continue to embarrass yourself. You know, it's cool with me, man. It's cool with me. You can do all those things. You can totally do all those things all you want. But aren't you fucking embarrassed at this point? Aren't you embarrassed swaying whichever way the wind blows? when Aiden reveals himself to be a fucking liar every single time, and you defend him every single time, and every single time he makes you look like a fucking utter buffoon, and yet here we are. You're still defending him. You're still raising your hand. Pick me, coach. Good game, guys. Me, Valerie, pick me. Me. Like, girl, for the love of God, bow your head a little. I mean, it's kind of shameless at this point, pal. Fuck, man. Take it down like 15 notches, sweetie, right? There will be people who will accept you, right? There will be. There's a community of people out there who will like you. It's not my community, but there is one somewhere that will like you. You know, my community probably would have accepted you like 19 really messy, embarrassing issues ago. But it's not mine. It's not my community. My community is not going to accept that. But there's somewhere out there that you belong. I mean, if you want to stay in the cult, totally cool with me. You can just keep embarrassing yourself. It's totally fine. When everything comes out in court, it's going to be really, you know what? Maybe, Jim Crow Gillis might accept you in his community. Maybe it's possible. Yeah. Because if you feel the need to just repeat bold-faced lies and people keep debunking them, you only make yourself look like a fucking fool. You only make yourself look like a fool by trying to come up with 17 different excuses about why something didn't happen that all the evidence was already posted about. Hey, have at it, girl. Have at it. We'll make you a sign if you want. We could totally make you a t-shirt that says, pick me on it. We could make you one of those if you want. We could make you a sign. You could wear it around your neck, right? Pick me. Oh, Queen Valerie, pick me. I mean, it's essentially what you're saying to people every time you get on one of those spaces and just spew nonsense. I mean, the fact is you're kind of out of touch with reality at this point, right? You're just saying whatever the turtle says. That sounds good. See, the problem with that is the turtle has diabetes, and it's not treatable. You can't treat diabetes. There's no meds for that. It's an incurable, ugly disease, and I think you might be catching it a little. I think you could be possibly catching a little bit of that diabetes. And so maybe, just maybe, if you took one good look in the mirror and thought, why am I actually doing this? Is this fun for me? Am I just like that person that thinks it's fun? Am I just like a gossip monger? Am I a Karen gossip monger? Or are you really just deep down looking for that admiration from someone? And you think a man with 160,000 subscribers who has 100,000 hate watchers is the one to give you that validation. Yikes. Yikes. Let me give you a quick tip. Here's a quick tip. You don't need validation, darling, from anybody but yourself. Once you learn that, life gets a little easier. Where you don't need anyone else's validation. You don't need a pat on the fucking back. You don't need a cookie. You don't need a parade. You don't need lip filler. You don't need to use filters. You can just be you and say, fuck whoever doesn't like it. But this whole act, because you're trying to fit in, it's just not working. It's not working. It's not working. And I mean, hey, like I said, you want to keep just being cool with yourself. It's, I guess, on you. But I'm just saying, maybe go donate to a women's shelter, right? And volunteer at the soup kitchen. Maybe, Do you think all the time spent trashing other women is going to be some positive thing that you do in life? Let me fill you in on a little secret here. Karma is a bitch. It's a bitch. If you put bad karma out there, guess what comes back for you? Bad karma. Yeah, that's what comes back for you. If you put good karma out there, that will come back. That's how it works. So I try to put good karma in the karma bank, right? put a little bit good karma here and a little bit of good karma there. And eventually, whether it's 5 years or 10 years or 20 years or a week or a month or a day, eventually that good karma may come back to you. The universe always course corrects. But if you put bad karma out there, really, really bad karma, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, unfortunately, that bad karma is going to come for you. And right now, that bad karma is coming at Aiden like a speeding train that can't stop. The emergency brake is broken, my dear. It's broken. And he was tied to the tracks. And instead of untying himself and moving away from that speeding karma train, he has doubled down and redoubled the knots on himself because he's a fucking idiot. Right? And here we are. It's people like you in the back of the class still raising their hands. Pick me, coach. Pick me, coach. Let me in, coach. Let me in. Me, guys, pick me, me. I'm the problem, it's me. Look like me. Eden, I'm over here. I'm here. I can say mean things too. Me, I can say mean things. If you pick me, I'll be really mean. That's what we have people doing. And you're like leading the pack in that, Alex. It's embarrassing, honey. It's a little bit embarrassing. It's bad. It's really bad. I mean, you don't have to take my advice. My advice is maybe take a good look in the mirror and look at why you're even doing what you're doing. Because let me fill you in on something. You have no actual fucking idea what happens behind closed doors. And I'll fill you in on it even more than that. As we've told you before, your cult leader's a liar. Yeah, the diabetes, it can spread, you know? And when he has to lie about small things, I think you can figure out that he's been lying about a lot of large things. So no matter how many times you want him to pick you, he's still going to have to face the consequences of his own actions. So no matter how many times you try to drag beautiful, wonderful women, they're beautiful inside and out. Fortunately, the same can't be said for you. No matter how many times you try to do it, because these women are so much better than you. They will get knocked down, and they will get back up. And they will hold their heads up, and they will continue to move on. And people like you, bullies like you don't end up happening in the long run when your leader is revealed in court with all the documents to be a bold-faced fucking liar that's making fun of all of you. Because people like you shrink back down in their seats. And they either disappear from the internet or they jump to a different group of people and they still raise their hand as that pick me bitch. Just in a different group. Me, folks, pick me. So which one are you going to be? Well, maybe someone who made it out of the cult, realized that the whole thing is to thrive off of hate, jealousy, pettiness. Or are you just like him anyway? And it's not curable for you. You will just always be nasty like that. That's who you are. I mean, why not reveal yourself as being? Why not just be honest and be like, hey, just a horrible person who doesn't really care about whether something's true or not. I'm going to repeat it like a fucking parakeet 72 times because, well, Aiden said so. And apparently that's the new thing. Aiden said so. I promise you this. You can raise your hand and just pick as much as you want, right? But ultimately, when all this shit comes out, I'll be looking for you to make comment. You like to make lots and lots of comments about other people you don't know, about their lives, about what you think, but you don't actually know, right? Just repeat shit that the cult says. So I'll be looking for that comment. You like to make comments so much, right? I'll be looking for that comment when all is revealed. What every single thing he lied about and why, and how he made fun of his cult. I'll be looking to see if you are woman enough to make those apologies that these women chose to make when they realized they were being misled. Or if you're a fucking coward, like I think you are, and you run and hide, or you double down, and you still raise your hand to be picked. Honey, put your hand down. It's fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I mean, I'm embarrassed for you, and I don't even like you. What does that say? Do you have empathy? I do. You know? I have empathy for human beings, but I mean, holy fuck. Holy fuck. I mean, I think, to be honest, that the church might catch flames if she touches it. Just say it. Just fucking say it. Maybe that. Maybe where they can't speak. You know? Maybe. Now that I got that out of my system, we'll move on. You know, we should move on to the cult leader and his lies, considering we're on that subject already, right? I just wanted to point out that the women that Val ever so likes taking shots at, she will never be as kind or loving or understanding or honest as those women are. She can't dream to ever be as much of a woman as they are. It's really sad, right? I chose violence today. I apologize, guys. I chose violence today. Listen, you fuck with my koala family and you fuck with me. Just saying. Just throw that out there, all right? These women are good people. And they don't have to be on my quote side of the Karen Reed case for me to know that. That's something Aiden created because he needs that chaos. He needs the us versus them for those donos to keep rolling in. That's what he needs. He needs it. He needs it to make money. He can't just authentically do anything. Has to be filled with lies and innuendo. It has to be. There's no other way around it. Jack, I see you, Jack. Jack since 12/12. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate you, my friend. And thank you, Carly. Appreciate you. Thank you, Allie. We appreciate you. Now, should we take a poll? Tuberculosis, March court date, he pleads. No, I don't think he'll plead in March. I think it's got to be much closer. Much closer. He's going to wish he had gone to church today. Yeah. Well, like I said, I think if she touches that church door, it might burn down. Yeah. You know, I mean, like I said, evil. Just evil inside. Evil inside. People don't like it, man. All right? People just don't like it. I mean, to be fair, I think to some extent every channel is going to have to cover the drama, right? At some point, because they can't just skip over it. You can't. You can't. You can't skip over this kind of shit. You just can't. You literally can't. So I have a few things I'm going to show you guys. So for those of you who are not on Twitter, you probably didn't see some of this, right? So I shall bring it to you. Now, here's a good one. Now, I will say I am not a fan of Sue O'Connell, right? I'm just not a fan of hers. She lied, just bold-faced lied when we went for the first counter protest. She never even approached us, didn't talk to us, didn't even see us. And then she made this very bold statement about why we were there and what she, quote, saw us do, except she never saw us. So then I had to actually correct that on Twitter and get her to actually admit that she did not ever lay eyes on any of us. So how can you say what you saw or what you thought our intentions were because you saw, but you didn't see us? Make that make sense, Sue. So I'm not a huge fan of Sue, but what I will say is this comment that Sue made yesterday is kind of, I say kind of because not all of it is on par though for Aiden, and I think it's in response to, it's response to Aiden saying something to Sue 23 hours ago, right? And he says, Thank you for responding with your article, Sue, but I still have some questions. You claim I simply published information forwarded by a defense attorney before opening statements had even begun. Well, that's true. That's exactly what he did. And suggested that I should vet and investigate this information. Well, yeah, that's what journalists do. They don't just take information from the defendant and then spew it. They vet the information to try to figure out whether it's true or not. They don't just take it from one person and throw it out there as truth. That's it's not journalism, my dude. Sorry to tell you. And so basically he just goes on and on and on and on about like how he did journalism, but he didn't. We all know he did. Okay. And then he said, are you aware I repeatedly sought comment from all the McAlberts, their attorneys? No, you didn't seek comment. You put their, you went to their children's game. That's not seeking comment. Like, let's be honest. What you did was not seeking comment. When you're seeking comment, you do what the media does. You knock on the door, you see if they give comment. If they say no and they say not to go on their property again, well, guess what? Then you don't show up at their kids' games. You don't get on live streams and scream, I'm going to ruin your life and you're going to answer these questions or I'm going to keep pounding you. Like, that's not journalism, my dude. That's literally witness intimidation. And that's what the statute reads in Massachusetts. You fucking absolute idiot. Right? Like, you cannot go to witnesses and scream that they change what they're going to say. Come on, stop it. Ridiculous, right? So he makes all these ridiculous assertions. And like, he lives in Delulu land with the shit that he says, He said, you claim that biased reporting isn't journalism. Well, it isn't. It's biased, you fucking buffoon. Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that. Oh, okay. My question for you is it illegal to partake in biased journalism? Nobody said it was illegal to partake in biased journalism. It's just phony, right? And that's not what you're being charged with, sir. You, once again, fucking buffoon, right? So this is what she said that he's like talking to. Professional journalism requires ethical restraint and due diligence. You don't simply publish information forwarded by a defense attorney before opening statements have even begun. The information would need to be vetted and investigated. A journalist would seek comment from the other side. You also have to ask whether something is actually newsworthy, recognizing that newsworthy will mean different things to different outlets. Without that process, you're not doing journalism. You're doing PR, propaganda, tabloid work, or chasing views. That may be someone's lane, but it isn't every newsroom's. Even advocacy journalism doesn't eliminate due diligence. You still verify. You still seek comment. You still give people an opportunity to respond. You consider the harm versus the benefit of your work. And that's a big thing in journalism. They have to consider whether what they're putting out is going to hurt someone more than it's going to be newsworthy. He doesn't do that because he has no ethics. Right? That's part of being an ethical journalist. And he doesn't seem to understand that because he'll never know what it's like to be an actual journalist ever in his life. So she said, you consider the harm versus the benefit of your work. Balance and fairness aren't about false equivalence. They're about credibility. Bingo, in which he has none. In routine investigative journalism, reporters approach people in public spaces all the time after phone calls, emails, and messages have gone unanswered. When they do, it's deliberate, planned, and informed by legal and ethical judgment. Knocking on someone's door is usually not harassment or trespassing, especially if you leave when asked. Approaching someone on a public street is not harassment unless it crosses into intimidation or repeated threatening conduct. That's the line between journalism and harassment. Kearney may ultimately be the victim of targeted enforcement, which basically just means that they're enforcing it on him but no one else. But that's just simply not true because there's no one else doing it but him. And the outcome may redefine what type of behavior is or isn't acceptable from journalists. The case is making its way through the legal system, and he is getting his constitutional right to due process. What can be examined now is whether charges match conduct and whether response is proportionate. Well, in my opinion, he should have been charged with even more than what he already has been because of the things that he's done. So Sue responds to what he writes and says, you're an advocacy journalist who publishes on digital media, aka a blogger. I truly don't know why that's so triggering, but I'll respect your pronouns. I mean, job title. I've been happy to stay quiet on this case, but you and others keep asking, so here we are. Your work uncovered misconduct and produced real results. I will have to disagree with her on that. He didn't do work. Once again, as you pointed out, Sue, he just regurgitated whatever someone told him. But success doesn't settle ethical questions about methods. Not weighing in on First Amendment protections. As I've said, that's complicated and I haven't seen all the evidence. So here are my questions about your journalistic ethics. Using the same test every newsroom uses. What did these actions accomplish journalistically? And were they ethical ways to report the story? That applies to publicly posting phone numbers and leaving messages, showing up at witnesses' children's sporting events, and organizing a rolling rally to witnesses' homes while saying things like, "You're going down." Did you try standard reporting methods first, requesting comment, knocking once and leaving, going through counsel, or public offices? Even when advocacy journalism produces results, it shouldn't redefine ethics. These methods fall outside accepted journalistic standards. So what justified using them? And he can't answer that, right? Like, he can't answer that. So, I mean, there's a lot of people commenting on it, as you guys can imagine. But that triggered the turtle. Hardcore, guys. Okay? Yes, those are his inner circle. They share accounts, they talk to each other about who needs to share what when and what people they need to go after. Like that's what they do. Yeah. Sue basically kind of told him, like, you're a fucking clown, and in a way tried to give him credit for something that he didn't need credit for, because as she pointed out before, he has no ethics in journalism. He doesn't do journalism. Not sorry, but he does not. That's correct. His source was Karen. That was his source. They don't want a jury trial. They don't. I don't think they want it. They don't want any trial. They know that if this goes to trial, it's not going to be good for him, right? It's just not. It's really, really not. It's really, really not. Girl, you and me both, Kathy. Me and you both, Oh, that's so not shocking to me. I mean, that's all they do. It's literally all they do, Right, J-Bugs? Like, what? Ethics? Is that a thing? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. So that's the other thing. Do you guys remember when he kept saying, like, he couldn't wait to get on the stand with Hank Brennan, right? And answer questions and make Hank look stupid. Yeah, see, the problem with that is he pled the fifth because he was so afraid of Hank. Just saying. Do you all not think that's the same thing that he would? He wouldn't be able to testify. He's not going to testify in his own defense. Let's make that abundantly clear. He would crumble like a broken cookie on the stand because he can't not lie, right? He can't. So he wouldn't have a choice but to lie on the stand. And he would get himself caught up. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. That man will never testify in his own behalf for his own defense. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. I don't even think this gets to a trial, in my opinion. I think he tries to catch a deal. I agree with Glock. Never going to happen. But he said that, he says a lot of things. You guys have to remember, it's all for the public. It's for his donors to consume. He wants them to think he is not afraid of anything. He's not afraid of anything, and he doesn't ever think he's going to go to jail. And when in reality, what he's really texting his friends, or people he thinks are his friends at least, which is so funny to me at this point, is that he is very nervous. He doesn't want to go back to jail. He knows that he needs to do something because this isn't looking good for him. That he's constantly worried about being arrested. He's constantly looking for police cars. That he doesn't want to, quote, leave his children, which I find completely hilarious considering the man keeps committing crimes while he's out on bail. If you cared that much about your kids or your family or anyone that you care about, you wouldn't just keep committing crimes. Because remember, as of 2 weeks ago, he was still trying to, or 3 weeks ago, he was still trying to contact Meredith, even after all he said about her. He took over 2 years, calling Lindsay a fake victim. Like, hello? The fact that anyone listens to a word he says now blows my mind. Like, I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Like, do they seem to forget all the shit he talked about Lindsay, and now all of a sudden that just doesn't matter? Oh, well, doesn't matter. Cool, doesn't matter. Better I was not going to advise him to plead, because that would mean no more money. That would mean no more. Aiden's a cash cow for those attorneys, dude. He keeps creating legal problems for himself that he has to keep paying for, Kathy's right. He made a career out of terrorizing people who are going through the worst scenarios of their entire lives. The poor, the downtrodden. That's what he made a career out of, hurting people. That's fucking disgusting. This is not First Amendment. It's not absolute, you know? Oh yeah, he thinks he'll be able to like just turn and be like, so guys, you're going to find me not guilty because you love me. Also, it's a $5 minimum to donate. Turtle boy, be afraid of me. If you do not find me not guilty, I will write about your families. Like that's essentially what he thinks he'll be able to do. Like subliminally let the jury know, like, if you don't do what I want, it will come for you. Like that's what he thinks in his mind. See, what he thinks, like the La La Land he lives in and reality are two very different things, right? Well, he's been delusional for a long time. I'm not kidding when I say like he lives in his own La La Land. Also, I'm 45 minutes in and I totally forgot about this. My bad, guys. Okay, so I'm supposed to do this in the beginning of the show, but I always like space cadet out on it because I'm more focused on like what the show's gonna be about and like, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, he says he needs another fundraiser. I nearly spit out my drink. We're gonna have to do another fundraiser soon, he said. I'm like, who the fuck would give that man a red cent? He literally just said that he's paid all his attorneys and he's buying a house. Literally just said that. Somebody literally sent me that clip and he just said it again the other day. Like, then on Friday, he's like, yeah, we're gonna have to do another fundraiser because this isn't cheap. Okay, might not be cheap, but you can pay for it yourself. You have the money. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Makes no sense. So he says that he needs to do another fundraiser soon, guys. He needs your money now again. But if you'd like to donate to actually someone who isn't a piece of shit and you appreciate what I do here, and you want to support a small creator that isn't afraid to speak up, you can support my channel or any of the other small creators out there who need your help. Because it's a lot harder as a small creator to gain traction than it is in some of these loudmouth echo chambers that people just choose to listen to for whatever godforsaken reason. Jack. Jackson's in the 1288. I appreciate you. Said you're on fire today. I love it. I feel like I am fired today for a reason, Jack. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why am I on fire today? Also, where are you? Why are you not in the chat, sir? I need these answers, Jack. I need these answers. Why are you not in the chat? What is happening? Were you like accidentally booped out or something? I feel like you would have sent me an email if that was the case, though. So maybe you can only listen. Spoke about bringing other attorneys on. Ridiculous. Well, I know there's a lot of you watching on X, but nonetheless, there are a million different ways to donate to the channel. We have super chats and super stickers. There are memberships. Oh, today's the 1st. We can give away a couple memberships today. I love this. Or you could get, obviously, you can buy your own. You can gift memberships to other people, which I love when people do. Super chat, super sticker, and then we have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and the other options that we have are in the description of the video. So like Revolut, Chime, although Chime's the same as Cash App and Venmo, it's the same. So you just use the same tagline. The name is the same, but those and the Amazon wish list are in the description of the video. And then we have a link over on the top of chat right now in the live chat, and it says like sports ball creators like me, and that's a link. It goes to my PayPal. You don't have to have PayPal. You can use credit or debit. You can remain anonymous on any of these. All right, let's give away some of these, shall we? Because it's the 1st of the month, and I totally forgot. Okay, we send the first 5 nowsies. Let's see. What does it do? Let's see. Who does it give it to? Sharon. Money manicures me. I'm shaking the bushes. Not sure now. User something. It's the first 5. Shaking the bushes there. I know he loves to say we. It's weird to me that he likes to use that word we. We. You know what? Fuck it. Just do them all now. Screw it. It is the 1st. Round 2. There you go, Grammy. T-Jags, Paige, Deb K, Knitting Mimi, Lady P5. Love it. There it is. Your wish is my command. I don't choose. YouTube does. You willed it into existence, Grammy. You willed it into existence. It was all you, my friend. I don't get to choose who they go to. YouTube does. I wish they would allow us to choose. That would be nice. It would. It would be nice to be able to choose who they go to. But I don't choose who they go to. YouTube chooses who they go to. But I see quite a few names here that are here all the time. I do wish they would allow us to, though, because I mean, it does take into account people who are also just watching a lot but don't comment in the chat. So remember that. So if there's names that you see there you never see in chat, it's because they're probably at work or driving and they can't necessarily be in the live chat, but they want to listen and they listen every day. So I know people get frustrated when they see that. And they're like, these people are never here. Not always true. A lot of these people listen daily. Even some people listen for months before they ever feel comfortable to jump into our live chat, which is totally okay. I don't blame them. But once they do jump into our live chat, they feel quite comfortable. And they're like, wow, I feel like I should have done this sooner. And I'm like, the more the merrier, man. Bigger community, the better. We do this, you know? We do this. Okay, hold on. So there was a couple things I pulled up. The Sue thing was one of them, was this thing that Sue put out. Then there was, this one. This tweet that Chris put out. Okay, ready? All right. So Chris put out this tweet yesterday at 4:34 p.m. So it says, here we have TV calling for witness intimidation charges to be placed on Meredith by Lindsay because of tweets. Does he realize, and clearly he does not realize, but does he realize he weakens his own position on his charges with every dumb thing he says on his proxy live stream? Tweets equal bad, harassing at lacrosse games equals okay. He's an absolute fuckwit. Well, I have to concur with Chris Koala, my leader. I bow to you, my leader. I love when they say that. They say we're in a cult because Chris is our leader and we have to get permission from Chris, which is so funny because I don't get permission from anybody, not even my husband, to do anything. Ask my husband if I get fucking permission to do a goddamn thing. I'm a grown-ass adult. I don't need permission. Thanks. But so I find it funny, so I shall bow to my leader. Bow to my leader. I need to get permission to play this, okay? I'm not allowed to play it on my own. You need my leader to tell me. Dear leader, can I play this?
They were literally causing...
All right, so we're going to play it back to the beginning here. Here we go.
Who was it on with when she lost it, when she went nuts, started screaming? Because they fucking needled her with the fucking shit over her son. That was intentional. You know? That was witness intimidation.
What?
They were doing that to her because she was a witness. They were literally causing her emotional harm in front of the world, right?
Is he an idiot?
She's a witness. That's why they did it.
Aiden, you're an absolute fucking buffoon. Buffoon. This is pure buffoonery. These are shenanigans, guys. This is what a shenanigans looks like. All right. They used to be called shenanigans, and we renamed them. This is shenanigans right here. This clip I'm playing for you guys right now. This is shenanigans, right? He's saying, I don't know who specifically he's talking about here, but he's saying who they did it to this person because they're a witness and they wanted to cause the person emotional harm. So it's witness intimidation. Without ever realizing that he's telling on himself in his own witness intimidation cases, right? So you're admitting that you were causing emotional harm to the witnesses in the Reed case and you didn't care, and you're agreeing that it is witness intimidation? I'm confused here, Aiden. I thought you said it's First Amendment. That's what you just told the judge. Gee, you don't think they're going to play this for the court? It could be Lindsay. I think that's what Chris said, but I'm not sure if he means there's two Lindsays, so I'm not sure who Chris meant. And this is just a small clip. But nonetheless, my point is he's essentially saying whichever one he's talking about, that they did whatever. I don't even know what he's talking about they did. But that emotional harm is witness intimidation. If someone is a witness or could be a witness. See, here's the problem with that. Is if he means Lindsay, the one that he used to date, well, she's not a witness, right? You can say that this Mary Lou's coffee is a witness, right? Doesn't actually mean it's true. you can say it until the cows come home. And even the judge had to point out, and rightly so, she didn't date him until long after he committed that witness intimidation. She's not a witness to that, and that's the legal question: is it witness intimidation or is it First Amendment? He's not denying that he's done it. Oh, there you are. There you are. I just wanted to make sure you was alive, all right, Jack? I just wanted to make sure you was there. I haven't seen you in a bit, so I have to always make sure you're okay when your name pops up in PayPal. I expect to see you pop in on chat and at least say, I am alive, so that we know you are alive. Yes, this is a pot meat kettle. Let's play the rest of the pot meat kettle.
Period. End of story.
Oh.
End of story. That was witness intimidation. It fucking is, and that's that.
Oh.
And I hope she fucking presses charges for that. I mean, go to your local police department. That's what I would do if I was her. Go to the local police. I don't know if they're going to do anything, but she's pretty good at getting charges on other people, so why not the people who are actually intimidating her and committing an actual crime against her? That's what I would do if I was her. Just saying. So, yeah, like, are we best friends? Who was it on with when she, like, lost it, when she went?
Oh, boy. The man's telling on himself. Yikes. Fucking yikes. I know you don't usually catch on the replay. I did see Bradel's tweet to Ted Daniel. What I'll say is Ted Daniel's also a fucking coward. He knew the federal investigation was closed for close to a year before he ever said anything. And let me just throw this out there. The only reason I know that is because Ted has a couple sources that are the same as my sources. And the source did not tell Ted that they gave me the information as well about it being closed almost months and months and months before it was ever announced. Now, I told my audience, hey guys, this is closed. I know no one's saying it publicly, but it's fucking closed. And then months and months and months and months later, it's announced that it was closed, right? Okay. Like, what in the actual fuck are we doing? All right. Come on, Ted. I know you work for a company, but that's big news. Why would you sit on that kind of news with the evidence for that long? Why? Why would we do that? Why? Why would we do that? Why? Well, I didn't. And I say, my opinion, Ted is a coward because he knew that federal investigation was closed and he said nothing. Absolutely freaking nothing. You know? So hold on a second. Let me hop over here. Yeah, it is creepy. It's definitely creepy, Sassy. I'm not sure I'm seeing comments from... I don't think that I'm seeing comments from Queen of the Pool. I see that you're retagging them, Sam, but I don't see that, which is weird. Unless it's showing up as a different name on my screen. I don't know. Or maybe YouTube is shadow cleaning it from me? I don't know. Weird. See, that happened the other day, right? So apparently Jessie was here and it wasn't showing me any of hers, and she's one of my mods. So that happened. That did happen. She did get a voicemail from Donna. 8 inches. Oh my God, that did happen. So there was a lot that went along with that, Grammy. There was a lot that went on. There was commenting back and forth between me sort of saying like that was not okay. And then I have since spoken with her for the commenting that we had back and forth. So, wait, what? You stayed overnight? Oh, tell me you have at least a cot there or something, a blow-up bed. No, no worries, no worries. You poor thing, 8 inches of snow. But I have spoken with her since then, and I really hope that her and Donna speak. Because I think it would be good for both of them. But yeah, that calling him a daddy thing is fucking just creepy. You poor thing. You guys never see that much snow in the Carolinas, so I can only imagine. Oh, good, you have a cot at least. Well, I'm sure it. Listen, I have to sleep on something very plush, and I have like a topper on my bed. I had a memory foam mattress for a really, really long time, and someone gave me a mattress. Actually, I think it was used like twice. This lady had an autistic son, and he just didn't like it. He didn't like the feel of it. And so she gave it to us when we needed one. And it's been a long time since I got that one. And so that one's literally on its way out. And I have a topper on it, like a couple inches. And my back is killing me because it's just not doing the trick anymore. Like I really need to go back to like having a memory foam bed, but I can't fucking afford that shit. I got mine years ago at like Big Lots, and it was actually I believe it was a Sealy bed, but they had sold they used to sell like their overstock to Big Lots, and Big Lots had like a really big furniture selection, and they would get like overstock from certain companies, so it would be deeply discounted. And I think I paid like $500 for a 10-inch queen memory foam bed at that point. And now it's way more than that, but I need another bed for sure. And my back has been killing me lately. My hips go numb. And I'm a side sleeper. Okay. I'm a side sleeper. Casper. I've heard about those. And the other ones, what are they called? Green, purple, the purple ones. I've heard about those too. So like the like memory foam ones have ones that are like hard to plush. Like, and I can't have like something that's hard. Doesn't matter if it's plush hard. I can't. I cannot like sleep like that. It just is very uncomfortable for my chronic pain that I'm in. My knees, my hips. Like, oh, you're a back sleeper? See, I can't sleep. I mean, I'll fall asleep on my back once in a while, but I cannot stay asleep on my back. Can't do it. Nope, I'm a side sleeper. Girl, you need to when you get home, you need to get in the tub and just let that hot ass water put the shower on and plug the tub and just you got to get one of those. We have one of these things in the bathroom. It folds up, but it's a full body layer outer basically. It does the head with it, it's like a pillow, and then it does the head and the body and the legs. It does your whole body, and then it folds up, and you can latch it, and it's for the shower. Yeah, they shut the ones here too. So I'm like, whoa. They did have some good furniture too, so I'm sad that they did. It was back before Christmas. I think it was October, November when they closed them all up here. You're welcome. It basically, we were told it's basically going to miss us. We're going to get maybe 1 to 3 inches, maybe nothing, for snow. If it had moved more towards that, more towards land and not off the coast more, then we would have got smashed with a bomb cyclone, is what they were saying. And thank God that it didn't, because we would have been buried again. They have an Ollie's in Rhode Island, and I've only ever been to one Ollie's. I've always wanted to go to other ones and see what the difference was, because it's kind of like Building 19 in a way, in my opinion. But you're right, they did not have furniture at the one that I went to in Rhode Island, and I was only there one day for, I don't know, an hour, maybe not even an hour. Yeah, missed you too, right, in New York. Yeah, it was going off the coast, so it was we're not gonna get it, and I was like, thank motherfucking God, thank motherfucking God. I don't want to be buried in more snow. There's already enough. Not feeling it. Just not feeling it. So let me see. What else did I pull up for you guys today? Let's see. Some of these people are seriously obsessed. I can't. Right? We don't need any more, Jack. We don't need any more. We don't need any more. Keep the snow. I'm still not happy. a lot of these people are obsessed with like Meredith and Nan, like Jimmy, you know, steroid shots. So I've had steroid shots for like my neck and shoulders. And I'll tell you, it worked for like 3 days. But they're also looking into maybe trying me on the shot for the inflammation, for the arthritis and psoriasis, and I think it's called like Cosentyx. I think it's pronounced Cosentyx, and it's a shot, and that might help a little bit for that. But I have like so many different back issues, discs and everything else, so it's like I could have a back surgery, but they said it would be a 50-50 shot that the pain would get worse. And so I'm like, no. Oh my God, fun story. So I was with my friend Jamie yesterday. She's also friends with my sister and came to my nephew's birthday party with her kids. So we're driving in the car on the way to Ryan's, which is it's like Dave and Buster's, but there's a couple different ones. There's one in Raynham, there's one in Plymouth, there's one in Hanover. So the big one that they chose was Hanover, but we went there. That was where the birthday party was. And so I'm in the car with my friend, and she is telling me the story, and it was hysterical. So her son is a couple of years older than my daughter, and he's my youngest daughter. He's 10, and funny enough, actually, his name's 8. So he's like, my friend goes to go out to the car to start the car to bring the kids to school one morning, and her son is at the door. She lives on the 3rd floor, so there's like the stairs to go out of her apartment are like 1, 2, 3, 4 stairs, and then there's like another little landing, and then there's like a couple more stairs to get down to the next landing, right? So she goes outside with the keys to go start the car. So she's at the top of the stairs, and he's at the door, and he goes, "Mom, is it slippery?" And as fast as he said, "Mom, is it slippery?" she slips and goes down the 4 stairs. Boom, 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 boom. She goes, and as I'm laying there on my back, contemplating telling my son to hand me my phone so I can call into work because I don't know if I can get up, she goes, he yells down and goes, "Well, guess that answers my question." She's like, "I didn't know whether to pee myself laughing or cry." I was like, I probably would have done both at that point. Poor kid. Like, well, I guess it is slippery because you just answered that question when you fell down 4 stairs. Like, what? In Charlotte, they had a 100-car and truck massive pileup on 85. Oh my God. Can you imagine being stranded in the car for hours over just a couple inches of snow? I would have laughed, but I also probably would have cried. I probably would have done both. Like, I mean, my kids are sarcastic because I'm sarcastic, right? Like, I'm a kind of a sarcastic asshole sometimes. And when my kids do it, I'm just like, that's so me in them. I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad. But it's just the way she was telling the story, and the kids are in the car. So it's like, yep, I wanted to know it was slippery. That did answer the question. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so funny. I can't even. It's just the way he said it. He was like, it did answer the question. Like, poor kid. 1,000 cars. Oh my God. The Carolinas cannot handle snow. All right. Listen, if it was, a blizzard, I could drive in it. I could drive in it. Might not be fun, but I can drive in it. Like, that's not going to stop me from going anywhere. Like, most people, like, it's like 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and they don't leave their house. And I'm like, let's do this. I don't know if it's from the years of like being in plows and doing that kind of stuff, or the years of having to drive through it. When I worked at the prison, there was no not going to work and you have to drive in it. Or one time they had state police pick people up because some people the snow was so bad you couldn't get out of your driveways. It was actively going. And so they had state police officers pick up the personnel and bring us to the prison to work. They actually wanted people to stay overnight in cots. I think I told you guys this once before. And people were like, yeah, I'm not staying in a prison on a cot for a shift. Like, you want us to like be closer? There's a hotel up the road. You can rent rooms there and we'll stay there, but we're absolutely not going to stay in the prison on a fucking cot, Yeah, they don't work for me either. They don't work for me either. I definitely would have laughed. But so there are a lot of, oh God. Some people are fucking tone deaf. Right? Why? Like, what people don't understand is the milk goes bad, people. Why are you buying that much milk? If you want milk by shelf stable milk, you buffoons. You're buying freaking, 6 gallons of milk and it'll still go bad the same date, you buffoons. Like, you don't need that much milk, all right? Yeah, see? In 2000, they can't handle 1 inch. That's what Leah said. She's in North Carolina. She said the same thing. She's like 1 inch, 2 inches, and the whole thing shut down. Like the whole rigmarole just down. Like the whole state is murk. And I'm like, I can't imagine. It's been doing that to me lately. Where I couldn't see Jesse the other day as one of my moms. Like, I don't understand, like, what is going on with YouTube, but it was giving me a hard time the other day, Scorpio. So I see you now, but I think it was just a couple comments ago that I started seeing you. So it's like, why buy 6 gallons of milk, guys? Like, it goes bad, you sillies. You sillies. But I mean, it only gets bad at the grocery store here when they basically say, like, we're going to get something like a bomb cyclone like that. Then people start to get a little nervous that they're going to be in the house for, like, it gives us flashbacks to the time that we were in the house for a week and everything was, like, shut down for, like, 5 or 6 days at least. And people were out of electricity for that long. And the utility companies got in big trouble for that. I was a lucky duck for that one. I think it was actually a hurricane instead of like a snow thing. I can't remember, but either way, there was no electricity for most people for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, right? And this is how lucky I got. Is I lived on a street that had, like, Enterprise was at like the top of my street. It was a small Enterprise location, but their like lot for their cars were not on my street. It was on another, like, off the main road, right? So my street apparently has a different pole for electricity than some of the other ones. So what happened was the entire, like, city almost, but if you go like from where I lived up like 20 blocks, all of it, including the main street and the side streets, everyone lost electricity. My street kept electricity, and then the streets after me all lost electricity. So my street was one street that had electricity. So what I found out later on was, in that area that I had lived, I was the only street that had electricity for the entire time. The street that my pole ran off of ran to the city next door. And so if you went along this way, like where my road was, ends at the end of it's regular road, so it ends at the regular road here, and then there was like a bridge, sort of like a bridge, and the highway goes underneath it. Well, you can go over that bridge, and then there were streets further up that had them. But it was almost like a weird line that kind of just went like with those streets across the city, just like the one line across the entire city that I lived in. And I had a friend that lived like 3, 4 streets down. She had no electricity for 10 days. Okay. And I lived in Rhode Island at the time, but for 10 days, she had no electricity. So I told her to bring her stuff to my house, like bring her food over, put it in my fridge, and bring her kids and herself over to my house, and they could just camp out in my living room. I had a really big living room and dining room. It like was all one large space. And I was like, just, bring the kids and stuff over to my house, because I was the only one that had electricity. The little corner store near us after day like 3 started to only take cash and stay open with like these big like solar lights they had, because they had no real electricity. So you couldn't get anything frozen or like that, but you could get anything else in the store. So, but that was the only other little store we could go to too. And I got so freaking lucky. I had heats, I had TV, I had my refrigerator the entire time. And I was like, this is crazy. They ended up getting in trouble, the electricity and the gas companies after that, because it shouldn't have ever taken them 10 days. It's not like buildings were falling down and like it could have fixed it a lot faster. And they just didn't. And so they got in a lot of trouble for that later on. I think they got fined like millions of dollars, and it was just like a shit show. And maybe it was 2000. No, it had to have been after 2008, because my middle was born in 2009, and she was maybe 2, 3. I think it must have been like 2010, 2011-ish, somewhere around there. It was. Oh yeah, 78. I hear about the blizzard of 78 all the time. And I'm like, I've only equivalated one that I know of to that, you know, and nothing like what they described from the blizzard of 78, that's for sure. You know, that's what it was. Hurricane Irene, that's what it was. That's what it was. Irene. I believe that's the one. Irene. Maybe it wasn't. I think that might either it was Irene or Irene was the one that we were coming back from Florida, and my family was like, "You need to cut your trip short," because we drove. Like, you need to cut because the hurricane's coming right at you, and I was like, "We're not cutting it short." And like, "You need to," and I'm like, "I'm not going to." But there was one, yeah, 2010, right? Yeah, that's somewhere around between. I know it was after 2009 because she was born in 2009, and she was like talking and walking, so it had to have been 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. We don't really get many anymore. The last, like, I'd say 8 years, there's really been next to nothing. Or maybe it was Sandy. Maybe that's the one it was. I can't remember, but it was definitely, I think, a hurricane. Because we didn't get any damage or anything. It was just wind. It was wind, and that's what did it. Was the wind. But even after it was over, it still took them 10 days, and that's, I think, what got them in so much trouble is there was no like other damage. It was just wind, and they took 10 or more days to fix it for people. Yeah, weather be weathering. Mark Wahlberg? Oh, I don't know. It's a good question. Not sure which one. Mark Wahlberg. Hold on. What do we got going on? Hold on. Oh boy. Oh, ew. Oh, I bet. I remember it took out, didn't it take out part of the boardwalk in New Jersey too? Let's see. Oh, The Perfect Storm. Yeah, I forgot about that movie. It's a good movie. All right. Let's see. We have so I want to throw out there that Aiden still hasn't shown anybody. Apparently he was showing all these receipts, right? Of ridiculous, nonsensical shit. And people were like, well, while you're in the mood for sharing receipts, Aiden, why don't you share the receipt of the money that you sent to Karen that you claim that you sent to her from the fundraiser from Halloween? Crickets. Absolute fucking crickets. You know what I mean? Crickets. Ridiculous. And I'm like, he's not going to show it because he doesn't have it. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. Wow, there's a lot of different things that I'm seeing that I saw that I didn't see before now. And I'm like, wow, people were busy this weekend, huh? Oh, this was the other hilarious thing that I wanted to show you guys that I came across the other day. All right. This is a clip of one of the Turtles sewer crew who acts like they know law and sounds like a buffoon and has no actual fucking idea what he's talking about. The fact that anyone actually listens to a word this fucking buffoon says is amazing to me. I don't really understand. He's the same guy who says that the koala shouldn't talk about our laws here, except the problem with that is the koala checks with people and he actually goes and looks up the general laws in the way that they're written, and he understands the legal terminology, and he does his homework and his research. Brokeback Baker does not. Do you want to hear what ridiculous, nonsensical thing that he said about Aiden's hearing that happened the other day that we streamed? That is just blatantly not true, not even a little bit. If you haven't seen this clip, you might piss yourself laughing at how wrong this is. Ready for it?
Kind of the same, with no subtext to them. So how are they gonna? That's not how it works. And
Yes.
Aiden can just say, no, I'm not going to testify to that. So you have no chain of custody. You can't bring them in. You have no way of proving that these clips are real. I cannot authenticate it. Well, you're on the screen. I plead the fifth. Kind of the same.
That's not the way it works there, bud. They're going to be authenticated, whether he likes it or not, sir. He cannot get up there and be like, I'm going to plead the fifth on whether these are real or not. That wouldn't, you're a fucking idiot. You're an actual moron. You're an actual idiot. And the fact that anybody takes you serious really is fucking embarrassing at this point. That's not the way it works, sir. Not even a little bit. When they say authenticate, right? The court has already said, yes, they're going to be shown. They don't mean that they need to prove it to the court. It's to authenticate it for the jury. And even then, you can't refuse to be like, yep, that's not me. It's not a real clip. Because if you try that, you're going to get your attorney in trouble. Okay, number one. Number two, you're going to commit perjury. Because then they're going to give all the metadata and all the information of how real it is to the court. You cannot get up there and be like, I plead the fifth on whether this is real or not. I refuse to testify about whether these clips are real or not about me. They're not. I'm not going to do it. That's what world do you think that happens, Mr. Brokeback Baker? Please, for the love of God. What? That's not even close to the way it works, sir. Not even a little bit. No, Chris doesn't have a channel. They don't know how to do mood drama. It is standing. It's like, as the world turns. How fucking dumb do you have to be to listen to this shit? What? That is not how it works, dude. Not even a little bit. The fact that he even suggests this is fucking absurd and goes to show you the level of understanding that he has for legal terminology pertaining to a legal criminal case. See, they hear the word authenticate and they automatically mean it to assume what you would assume it means when it comes to this, the internet, a tweet. That's the thing. There are different definitions for regular words when it comes to the legal realm and the way these things are being used. And people fail to understand that. And they fail miserably at it. But I have never seen someone fail as miserably as this dude just did. There were a couple other things that I've seen clips of him arguing about the Karen Reed case and about what they carry and what was a misdemeanor and what wasn't, and he was completely wrong. And I'm like, who the fuck listens to this guy? I just want to know. Not for nothing, but why should Chris have to stay out of it just because he's in Australia? I don't give a fuck if he was in Timbuktu. If he knows his shit and he does his research and he does his homework and he doesn't just spew nonsense and he cares about people, it's good people in my book. Chris actually cares about when innocent people are getting dragged through the mud simply so Aiden can save his own ass. I respect for anybody who is willing to clap back at a man with fucking diabetes who will hurt anyone. Doesn't matter how innocent you are, he will say whatever he wants, know that his minions will believe him, and destroy real lives simply to hide his own criminal behavior. That is the most disgusting thing any human can do. Besides committing murder, right? Doing those types of bad things. If you're actively destroying innocent people's lives, and I mean take violent people out of it, take the violence out of it, right? Aside from being people who hurt children or murder people or like that, this is one of the most disgusting things someone can do, is abuse and coercively control other individuals using their words and their blackmail and their harassment, and then using a mob of other people to do it for them. And using fear to control those people. Because those people fear that if they don't do what he wants, that he's going to come after them. Make no mistake about that. They can deny it until the cows come home. But there's too many people who are that close to him that have already admitted that's exactly why they stayed there for so long. It's because they were afraid if they didn't just do what he wanted, they would be next. That's gross. Why should Chris just bow down? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So he doesn't have a channel. He has the Twitter, but he doesn't have. Thank you. He doesn't have a like a channel. He'll pop on a Spaces or on one of our live. See, I do mine during the day, and it's very early in the morning there. Like, not even time to be up until like now. You know what I mean? So, he doesn't have a channel. Brokeback Baker, yeah, that's what I call him. That's what I call him. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, all of his dumbass lawyer friends should have been able to tell him this, right? Like, MLS, like, where are you? You're going to tell these people? You're going to tell your little buddies they sound like fucking idiots? Like, at what point are you, as you guys are going to say, you have all these lawyer friends, like, why aren't any of your lawyer friends being honest with you then? Why aren't they correcting you when you say some ridiculous nonsense like this? They just allow you to make a fool out of yourselves? Right? He must have. Hey, girl. Yeah, he has an X account, but he doesn't have a channel. Yeah, usually it's a Spaces or a live that he'll pop on. Yeah, a whole cult of people who love being dumb. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, she has done a few on her. She made like a small YouTube channel that she had posted like clips on before. But yeah, he's done a few like on other people's channels, but he doesn't have his own like channel, if that makes sense. But he has an X account. That's what you would want to probably look at. Yeah, well, that's the thing. They heard what they want to hear. But the sad part about that is, yeah, Melanie Little trying to critique the judge is hilarious to me, because Melanie Little shows people every day how little she knows about criminal law. She sounds like a fucking buffoon. Literally. She sounds like a buffoon. Her trying to critique a criminal judge when the judge did exactly what any other judge would have done is fucking insane to me. Her last case that she represented in civil court was one in 2014, one in 2015. She has not practiced civil law in more than 10 years. So she should take several fucking seats. Literally. Right? Mine too, J-Bugs. But you're also in there. You know, you're in that group of the people that I care about. You mess with my koala family and J-Bugs, and you know, you get the horns, man. You get the horns. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they're definitely threatened by Chris. I think they're threatened by quite a few people who call Aiden on his shit, because if people actually start opening their eyes, which they're very clearly seeing right now. By the way, Amber, I was just checking my notifications for the very first time since a couple days ago. And I just wanted to throw it out there that I saw, I think it was, right, no, where is it? It was a tweet, well, a reply that you made right here. And it touched me. I love this. It was nice. She said, Twisted is the sanest of all of them. I've come to really like her. Actually, we have opposing opinions on Karen Reed's guilt, but also realize that's been decided by jury, so might as well move past it and see each other as humans and not rivals. She said, unlike Kate, she's not condescending and doesn't lump us all together with folks like BJ, Lily, and Val as free Karen Reed morons. You know, I've been seeing a lot of like little comments like that from some of you lately, and it's definitely nice to see. I'm not going to say it's not. It is. It's nice to see. And Survivor Patty here said, my first time watching her, and she's great, 100%. Yeah, I love that. Like, I love, and I'm getting a lot more like random people I didn't see before sort of following along and commenting and opening up, and I love that. I love that. You know? Well, we can hope. So, you know, I think it, again, decompressing, Christina, you know? I have X on my cell. Yeah, I have it on my cell phone too. I know, you know, I use it mostly on my cell phone standing. And I think Chris's is at somebody has to at Chris Koala Juan, at Chris Koala AJ. It's at Chris Koala AJ. No, at Chris Koala J. Sorry. The A is the last koala. So at Chris Koala J is his at. You're not going to be able to find it from the name. I don't know why, but when Elon Musk took over, he like screwed up the whole search system. You used to be able to search any word. Say I wrote Couchetta, Aiden's couch, Couchetta, right, in the search bar. It would give me every comment from every account that ever wrote that, going back years. You can't do that anymore, right? The search feature's all fucked up. It won't come up with anything. It'll say nothing, can't find anything. And it's like, when Elon Musk took over, he ruined the search feature. Like, bring back the old way we could search shit, bud, all right? Well, that's the thing. He needs the click beetle, because if you watch his streams, like he needs the super chats and all that come in, like the donations that comes in, he needs those to keep coming in the way they are. And so he has to bow down to that quote click, right? And it's unfortunate. It is. We all want to, make a living, but at the same time, I'm not fucking bowing to anybody. I refuse. I fucking refuse. Lieutenant. I mean, a lot of people just pay no mind to him, really. You know what I mean? Like, people are just like, oh, there's that guy again. I was looking at some of his views like a couple months back, and I think he has like 10,000, or at the time he had like 10,000 subscribers. And some of his stuff that didn't talk about Karen Read was like 500 views, 900 views. And I was like, I get more views on my videos before my live stream ends than that. To anywhere from 1.5 to 3, over 3,000 views on my videos, and I only have 3,100 subscribers. So make sense. If my videos are getting more views than yours at 10,000 subscribers, I mean, maybe you shouldn't be critiquing other people. Just saying. Just say it, He is. He's afraid of losing the subs. A lot of people have been alienated from the bullshit, but they also, a lot of people, I'll tell you this, I will give you this tidbit of someone I talked to recently. A lot of these people feel free. I'm not kidding. Some of these people have been trying to get away from Aiden for months. 4 months. So finally, when they are, they're like, phew, I feel free now. Now I feel free. Now I don't have to fucking worry about his bullshit and his nonsense. Oh, you're welcome. It's the truth. But a lot of these people are afraid of losing subs, and the Turtle Rider's coming for them. And if they lose the subs, they lose the Turtle Rider money. I knew what I was giving up when I, gave my opinions on the Reed case. And when that evidence led me to a different conclusion, I knew that by A, speaking out about Aiden, and B, telling people that my opinion had changed, what that was going to do. I knew it. And I had this fight in my own head. Like, well, if I just say nothing, right, like my channel will continue to grow, and I'll continue to make decent money, and it'll be good for my family, and I'll be able to make a living. And so should I just go with the flow? But I couldn't. Like, my mind had changed. And so therefore I cannot sit here and say something I don't fucking believe in. Just can't do it. So I knew I was going to give up a lot of subscribers, and I did. I lost thousands when he attacked, and I knew I was going to give up a lot of money. And I don't think I'm still paying the price for that. I still haven't recovered from that. But at least I can say that I built my channel brick by brick against all odds, against the odds of him relentlessly slandering and trying to drag my name through the mud, against the odds of other people trying to do it out of some weird petty jealousy issue, or some weird pick-me shit, or weird cult vibe-ish bullshit. I don't know. But I've had to fight quite a bit for one fucking human to simply just say what I want to say. And that's really sad, right? No one should care what the fuck I have to say. They shouldn't be trying to control what I'm going to say or what I'm not going to say. And the fact that anybody tries to cancel what I'm going to say or what I'm not going to say should be concerning for everyone, which means they don't want me to tell the truth, because if I do and people actually listen, well, then they're in trouble. Then people might discover who they are. And that's the problem, right? So they do everything and anything to shut me up. And I will tell you, it is not fucking easy. It is fucking exhausting and hard to continuously fight this day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out. To keep this channel afloat is hard. But I refuse to just give up. I'm not somebody who's ever just given up. And I won't do it now, because there's far too many people that need the encouragement so that they will speak out, or they just need someone to have their back. And I refuse to just leave them hanging, if that makes sense, right? Like, there aren't a ton of creators out there willing to say what the fuck's going on, or willing to call it out. And also at the same time, willing to have adult conversations with people, willing to bury the hatchet with others, willing to, understand that when people make it out of the cult, sometimes they just need someone to talk to about it because they are starting to feel embarrassment, shame, regret, and they deserve a little bit of support too, right? Like they got roped into something, they thought that they were doing good, they thought they were a part of something, and then they have to realize that they're not. And at that point, if no one is willing to speak with them, if no one is willing to just let them have someone to talk to or give them a little support and let them know that they made it out, they did the right thing, and they can make amends with anyone they hurt, you know, that's possible. A lot of people have come to me, they've done that, right? And then for me, I just say, I accept the apology. It's water under the bridge. Life's too short to hold those petty grudges, you know? It's too short. So for me, you know, and that's not for everyone. I can only speak for myself. I can only speak for myself. But, you know, it's not easy to fight against Satan and his cult. It's fucking not. When you do that, you make far more enemies with his idiotic, you know, crew of people, some over here, some over here. And then you make enemies with people who don't even like him either, because everyone needs to be the pick me, right? And so you're essentially fighting all sorts of people all the time just to freely say he's a bad fucking person that hurts innocent people for his own benefit. That the fact that anybody has to fight to say that, it's like, no wonder why we're not getting all the good, you know, actual details of fraud or government corruption or any of that shit from the mainstream media, because they're all a part of it. You're not gonna, and how hard do I have to fight as just an independent person to be able to say what I want to fucking say? Never mind if I worked for, like, you know, MSNBC or Fox or any channel, any media channel. Like, how hard would never be able to give actual stories of real things that happen, because you'd have people after you left, right, and sideways, and no one wants to deal with that. Well, someone's got to fucking take it on, or it's always there. And it'll never change unless enough people get together and say enough is enough, enough voices, enough action is what stops it, right? You stay silent, you say nothing, it continues. That's how Aiden's been allowed to do this for 10 fucking years, is he's kept people under his thumb with fear. Fear. Couchetta is my favorite too. Deidre does a great job with Couchetta. Aw, Grammy, I appreciate that. You know, you're not the first and won't be the last person to say that. They're like, they're coming here looking for the monster who's under the bed, right? Some crazy lunatic woman that they don't find because she doesn't exist. She doesn't exist. But that's what they, no, he's not trying to tie. I can't. I fucking cannot. Yeah, in my opinion, he's also a fraud, you know? Wait, hold on. It's almost as hilarious as Jess Machado saying that based on a tweet from Turtle that Jen wasn't afraid of him, and then says to confidently, case dismissed. Clown. Yeah, she is a clown. Which tweet is she trying to say that Jen wasn't afraid of him? The one, are we talking about the, like, text from 2022 that people have been talking about? Is that what we're talking about? I have to confirm before I say anything else, because I don't know if that's what you mean, or you mean like a different text. I can't believe Grant's trying to tie Leah into the fucking Epstein files. You couldn't make this shit up if we tried, okay? We literally could not. I'm just like, what? Like, what? What in the actual what? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, who, what? Like, what? I fucking cannot. I can't. You can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit up. Can't. Why am I buffering? Hold on. Sorry. We were buffering, and I think. What the hell? Why are we buffering? Okay, we're back. I don't know. We were buffering and we were freezing. I don't know why. I don't. Thank you, Standing. I appreciate that. You should like it here. We're good. We're a good group of people. We got a community here. We got a good group of people here. You know? Aw, the grandbabies. I love it. Oh, I get attacked in all sorts of chats from the sewer crew. All from people who've never met me a day in the life and don't actually know me, and has actually most of the time never been to my channel unless it was here to, like, say some ridiculous insult that the turtle fed them. That's like has no basis in reality. Karen Reed made total. That's probably true. You know what I mean? That's probably true. But he kind of did make the movement, and she made him, and it's a whole clusterfuck, you know? Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, yeah. Stuff that I didn't know all the stuff that I know now, obviously, about him way back then. And I wish that I did, you know? It was me. I gave away the 10 that YouTube gives me to give away. It was me. You're welcome. Yeah, I agree. A lot of things were fed to him. The information standing was given to him. So the information about the case was given to him, and then he gave it to the world. And that's what Sue was saying, which was like, all the information you got on the case came from the defense counsel and the defendant, and you didn't vet it. Like, that's not journalism, dude. That's not, you know? That's good. No one does, Grammy, and it's for a reason, right? They're too afraid that he's going to do what he's done to me and a million other people. You know, and I can't blame them. I cannot blame them for not wanting to, but that is what allowed him to get away with all of it for as long as he has. As people lied for him because they were afraid, people just disappeared because they were afraid, he would threaten people. Like, it's that bad. And yeah, Grant does need serious help. Like, tying Leah into the Epstein files, what fucking planet are we on? He was a manipulation conniver sock account queen long before. Yeah, he was before 2020, way before 2022. He, you know, had fucking spreadsheets. You know, it is in his DNA. I think it's just like just who he is. You know, Leah, if I was you, I probably would, just for the principle. You know, there's nothing to give, but like, take his right sock and his left shoe, Leah. You know, and then we'll put it in a shadow box and put it on the wall. Like, I mean, I mean, is his weed laced is what I want to know. It's pretty delusional to try to tie Leah Genduso to the fucking Epstein files. Grant, seek help, dude. Oh my God. Imagine that's probably what happened. Although Grant does come up with some wild shit on his own. He told one of the original supporters of his channel, take your mask off and leave my chat. What the fuck is wrong with some of these people? Really, though? I don't get it. Messages I'm going to stake him out and stalk. No one was stalking him, dude. They knew he was going to be there because the cops called Lindsay in for questioning. That's how they knew he was going to be there. And he has a really bad habit of going there and he was filing false reports, I might add. False reports. Things that he knew were false. And so nobody was stalking him. That was the one and only time they did that, to see what he was doing. Like, there was nobody followed him around for weeks or months or like, there was one fucking day, bro. And that is because the cops told Lindsay that he was down there filing and they needed to question her about these false claims he was fucking making. So I find it so funny in the way that he twists it around. Agreed. The law of witness intimidation against a witness doesn't change just because they don't like what it says. It's not the way it works, you know? The shit that they believe because he says it is absurd. He still says, all he's doing was asking questions. He still keeps trying to tie his case to Karen Reed's case. His case and Karen Reed's case are two totally different cases that have nothing to do with one another. Like, why he keeps trying to tie himself in, I really don't understand. Bingo. That's what happened. You know what I mean? You were on Rerun Crew? Well, glad for catching up, Justice. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I'm glad that you caught up, my friend. So there were like so many things that I was looking at this morning. And I'm like, what fucking planet? Yeah, I get it. Believe me. So many things that are just so bad, right? So fucking bad. You know what I mean? So fucking bad. Some of this shit, okay, is bonkers. And some of these people are bonkers. Like, the shit people are willing to say and do for him, to me, is like, do you not realize eventually some of you are going, like, if you're going to lie for him in a court, you're going to lie for him on an affidavit, do you know that you could be charged with that? You could lose your livelihood and your career, which many people, by the way, have given up simply to lie for him or help him. None of which does he give an actual fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and he did do that. He did that. She did that. She gave him the information, and then he took the information and fucking did all this crazy shit. And to be fair, I think the comment was tear them down or blow it up or fuck them, blow it all up or something like that. That Karen said to him in text about the O'Keefes, which is just bonkers. But nonetheless, what Sue said about like ethics, like that's a thing. Like you have to have ethics as a journalist. You cannot just go out there and like, you know, Bradel's little speech that we played, the little interview thing that we played after court the other day. Do you guys remember that? Where Bradel's like, all of you journalists, all of you, when all of you were in jail, you know, when all of you are in jail for asking questions, I'll represent all of you. Like, first of all, what would make you think that any of these people want you representing them, Mr. Bradel? Not for nothing, but you're a terrible fucking attorney. A terrible attorney. Horrible. Awful. Like, come on now. That's just crazy. None of these people want you, right? You're not Don Lemon. Stop it. No one wants you representing them, Mr. Bradel. Okay? It's not a thing. It's not a fucking thing. So to me, right, you're a blogger, sir. Knock it off. Stop the madness right now. But to me, here we are, right, having to say what it is because people can't use their own eyes and ears, because the toxicity of what Aiden brings is being able to tell people you didn't hear what you heard and you didn't see what you saw. And Mr. Bradel was doing the same thing. Hey guys, all you journalists, when you actually, matter of fact, why don't we just play that part? Why don't we just, I have that. Why don't we just play that? That's what we should do. We should just play that. We should just play it again. To remind people on how fucking actually nonsensical even his own odd goddamn attorney is when he's fucking lying through his teeth. Let's see. Oh no. Damn it. Hold on. Sorry, I need to reply to this. All right. Here's the video. Right, he got arrested for doing way less than what Aiden did. Don Lemon. Like, let's be clear. Way less than what Aiden did. All right. So here's the stupid, nonsensical, fucking idiotic, attention-seeking, and Aiden looks like he's gonna crap himself. I kid you not. He literally looks like he's like like he looks like he's gonna cry. All right, like all right, it looks like he's actually gonna cry.
What do you got? No. Any questions, guys?
Reaction to what you just went through there, guys.
Wait for the court to decide. We think it's a very strong application. We think there is a strong motion to dismiss also waiting in the wings if this one doesn't go our way. So we're pleased with today. We have a judge who's obviously very informed, very prepared, and we're confident in what the outcome will be, whether it's on this motion, the next one, or the final result.
It seemed like the judge was leaning toward just, keeping Cosgrove on the case, but having someone else handle the Lindsay situation, I guess. Is that something you would be open to? It sounds like maybe not.
We think there's a conflict that requires removal, but the judge wears the robe and decides. So what he decides will be.
Did you get a sense of where he was leaning? It seemed like he was taking a sort of active approach, poking holes, not just in your argument, but in the Commonwealth's as well.
He was a hot bench. That happens from time to time. That's what lawyers deal with, and you deal with it. So I don't read into it one way or the other.
You seem to give some credit to a strong motion to dismiss, but of course we now just have a date for it.
Which is not what the judge was talking about.
Dismiss, but first things first, you have to see if there's a prosecutor to even defend the motion to dismiss. If there is, then we'll come right back here at the end of March and argue why all the indictments should be dismissed. Absolutely. I think he's right.
You know, it used to be just the.
I think he's right. It's not what the judge was talking about.
Would you step aside if you were in his role?
If I were sued by a witness in a case I was prosecuting back when I was a prosecutor, I personally would take the exit ramp and get out of there. Yes.
So why is he fighting so hard to stay on this case?
That's for him to answer. I don't want to speculate. We have great personal respect for Mr. Cosgrove. It has nothing to do with the position that he's in because of, witnesses' accusations towards him. But I would not even pretend to try to read his mind as to why he's doing what he's doing. That's a question only he can answer.
They got their asses handed to them
Find someone else to join
by the
case.
judge.
Obviously, they couldn't find someone to prosecute the 24 case that they null prossed.
Would you do it?
I'm not a lawyer.
If you were a lawyer, that's their problem. That's a them problem, not an us problem.
How do you like his response, Cosgrove's response, when comparing the case you conflicted out of with these cases? How would that do?
To us, it's a distinction without a difference. I think we've made that point very clear in the written submissions and the oral argument today. He disagrees, as is his right. That's how litigation works. But for us,
So I'm just going to throw out there that the judge was not even talking about, first of all, they got their asses handed to them by the judge. Literally. Their asses handed to them by the fucking judge. All right? And it was embarrassing for them. They should have been very, very embarrassed. Let me just throw something out there. Kathy, you make a good point with Aiden looking all over the place. He does that no matter where he goes. He can't, when people's supporters walk up to him at an event, he looks them in the eye for about a millisecond, and then he darts around looking all around the room to see who else is looking at him, who else is paying attention to him, who else is giving him any attention. It's really sad and just goes to show, like, he can't. Let me be clear here. Aiden didn't understand a single thing that happened in his own court date. Didn't understand a single thing the judge said, wasn't listening, couldn't pay attention. Like, that's same thing every time. So then he gets on Twitter like an absolute fucking buffoon and says, well, the judge said our motion to dismiss was strong. Nope, not what the judge said. Actually, what the judge said was, if Cosgrove were to file a motion to dismiss based on prosecutorial immunity, it would be a strong motion to dismiss, because prosecutorial immunity there's no argument against it. You can't say, like, he's not immune. It would have him taken off that lawsuit in a fucking heartbeat. Okay? So the judge said, if and when Cosgrove files a motion to dismiss for prosecutorial immunity, he'd probably be taken off of the case, is what he was saying. He was not calling their mega motion a strong motion to dismiss. No fucking judge from here to Kalamazoo would call that ridiculous, nonsensical, Harold in the purple crayon writing Dear John letter with fake fucking medical conditions in it a very strong motion to dismiss. Never mind the fact that it's not even a fucking motion. All right? Let's just throw that out there. It's too lazy to even put it in a goddamn motion. So the fact that he claims that and Betterow repeats it, because apparently Betterow wasn't seeming to pay attention either in his own court case. Amazing, huh? And I will play the clip that proves it after this thing here of what the judge actually said and what the idiot turtle thought he said. And what the idiot attorney thought he said, okay? Ridiculous. Ridiculousness. And the judge couldn't have been more polite. I mean, that's what he thought was he could just, and Betterow sort of repeats that in what we just heard, which is if they can even find another prosecutor, they're betting on hoping the judge removes Cosgrove as a prosecutor and they will just get it dismissed because nobody else will take it. That's what they want. Because they know if this goes to trial, it's going to be very, very bad for them. So their only play here is to try to get Cosgrove thrown off. The problem with that is the judge has been very clear. More than likely, he's going to be removed from that lawsuit, the civil lawsuit, right? Number two, it would set a ridiculous legal precedent that this judge is not going to set that says, oh, well, if you just sue a prosecutor and collude with a person and say, well, that person is suing the prosecutor now, then all your court cases will be magically dropped because they'll throw the prosecutor off. This judge is not going to set that very dangerous, oh my God, it's Sunday, somebody help me, that very dangerous legal precedent. Not going to happen. No chance in hell. Judge, it is not lost on judges when they decide something like this that's different, that it sets a legal precedent in the state. They're not going to do that. What they're probably going to do is say, really, there's no conflict. Or if you have such a big problem with it, defense, cool, that's fine. We'll get someone else to question that specific witness if and when you bring that witness up. I'll also say I think they're fucking bluffing. I think they have no intention on bringing her in as a witness at all because they'd have too many issues when it comes to that. They'd have to explain away Bradel calling her a liar and not credible and all these other fucking things. There's no chance that they're going to bring her as a witness. They're just using that as a bluff to try to create a conflict where none exists. So the fact that some of these troll writers are like, my God, there's a conflict there. It's so corrupt. They're ignoring a conflict, a clear conflict. Let me fill you in, you idiots. There is no conflict. Betero and his crayons and Aiden created one where none exists. And the judge tried to tell them this in the nicest terms possible, which is, how is what you're saying relevant to whether he committed witness intimidation or not? People seem to forget. He doesn't get to complain about what people said or did after he committed witness intimidation. That's not the question before the court. The question before the court is, did he commit witness intimidation, which he has admitted to? Okay. And is it just First Amendment covered, or is it a crime? He's not denying what he did. As a matter of fact, he's admitted it now with his attorneys 3 times in court that he has done these things. It's not whether he did these things or not. It's, is it First Amendment protected or not? That's it. That's the only question. Not what this person did or said, or if they follow him around 6 months later after he harassed them into oblivion. Like, that is not the question before the court, and it's not relevant to whether he committed witness intimidation and whether it's First Amendment or not. That's not relevant to it at all. So that's why the judge kept saying, well, what is I'm not finding the relevance in what you're arguing. I'm not finding any relevance in it. Like, where is the relevance? Where does it tie together? You know? Like, what in the hell? I mean, I will say, like, thank you for your idiotic mega motion. It showed us the level that these idiotic attorneys are willing to stoop to, and it's embarrassing. No attorney I know is going to put a fake medical condition called turtle derangement syndrome in a motion for their client. Betero should be ashamed of himself. I mean, come on, really though. It is all word salad, and Bradel is just narrative. Bradel does this thing where he just goes, well, what about what this person did to my client? What about what that person did to my client? And what they did had some effect, judge, it has to. Like, no, it doesn't have to, bro. So when Bradel can't give narrative and a judge stops him and says, Mr. Bradel, we're not going to do speculation. We're not going to do wild accusations with no evidence. Like, we're not doing that. We need you to make a legal argument. He can't do it. He stutters. He stops. He doesn't know what to say because all he knows how to do is point fingers at other people and call people names. Oh, my God. The note passing was like a 12-year-old girl in middle school being, check this box if you like me, yes or no. Check the yes or check the no. Circle yes or circle no. Aiden's like, is this going bad? Circle yes or circle no. And he's giving it to Bradel. And as you can see throughout the hearing, Bradel moves like further away and further away and further away from Aiden so Aiden can stop writing him little notes. It's like, I'm done with these fucking notes. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And that's the other thing. He's too busy passing notes of, do you like me or not? Does the audience think the back of my head looks cool or not? That he doesn't even know what happened in his own goddamn hearing. Sad, you know? Salt of the earth, you hit the nose. Hit it right on the nose. Now, I have watched the defense whine and bitch and cry about this case being dragged out at least a half a dozen to a dozen times. The funny part about that is the only ones who have done that and dragged it out have been them. They've dragged out with filing motions last minute without giving any chance for the other party to respond, which you have to do. And so the judge says, okay, well, you're filing this motion at 5 o'clock on a Friday and the court date was Monday, today. And you did not give the other counsel any time to respond. So we cannot do this motion today. right? We have to do it a different day. So I have to set another date and another date. And then the defense says, well, we can't do this date and this date and this date. It's got to be a month and a half or 2 months from now. So they love kicking the can down the road and then going, oh, this is taking too long. But now when they get this judge and the judge tries to speed things up and the judge is like, nope, this has been a case since 2023. We're in 2026. We're getting this thing to trial and we're going to do it now. Then his defense is like, oh, no, we have to do, the next one has to be 2 months out, 3 months out. Like, we're getting down to the nitty gritty, right? The judge is trying to move up the trial, and Bradl's like, oh, no, my schedule's gotten worse, Your Honor. As in he wanted to, like, push back the trial. And the judge is like, well, let me make something clear here. We're not going backwards on the date for the trial. We could go forwards, but we are not pushing it any further out. It's not happening, right? And he had to be very serious with Mr. Bradle because he immediately knew the game Bradle was trying to play. He was like, don't tell me that you can't make it to the court date that's scheduled for this. I don't want to hear that. That's not going to be an excuse, right? That's the date that we have set at this moment that you are already free for. Anything else that comes up has to be basically scheduled around it or fucking, oh, well, so sad. It's never going to be moved back. It can be moved up exponentially, he said, but not back. Not happening. Judge is not playing that game. Not even a little bit. Yeah, Harold and the Purple Crayon. That's Harold right there. See Harold? This is Harold and his little fake pretend Burberry 2002 scarf. No, they can't. It doesn't work that way. But to be fair, this is something that I've been saying since that was first filed. I said, there's this, and you can go back to all of my videos on it. You can go back to the very beginning of when that was filed with Cosgrove's name on it. And I said, you cannot sue a prosecutor for something they did in the course of their duties. It's called prosecutorial immunity. It'll fail. It'll fail, 100% fail. There is nothing that's going to happen. Never mind the fact that it wasn't even Cosgrove at the time. It was Mello. So fail to understand how exactly Cosgrove was even added onto this. He handed over as a matter of discovery. That's in the course of his duties. Okay. Yes, I do remember, Hank. That they do special prosecutors all the time. All the time, Wasn't there claims that Cosgrove, Kate, and others were feeding DA info? Were they true or false to bring up TV? That's why they want them on. Yeah, they were saying there was all sorts of reasons why. None of it was true, though. I mean, anyone can give evidence of a crime and send it in an email to the DA's office or the cops. Like anyone, any citizen can do that. Anyone can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You have every right to do that. So bringing that up as some sort of argument in court is just going to fail on its face every time anyway. That doesn't make you if that made every citizen who sent evidence in to a prosecutor or to the courthouse or to the cops a government agent, then anyone who's ever sent in anonymous tips is a government agent. You know what I mean? Like, no. And never mind the fact that it had nothing to do with he was already caught up in the witness intimidation charges, which had nothing to do with any of those people. It had to do with his own actions. You know what I mean? All of his own actions, right? There's a video of him doing it that he took and posted to the world, which the judge so kindly pointed out. Oh, I wish Hank could. Unfortunately, it is a conflict, so Hank wouldn't be able to do it. They did actually think that they could outsmart the judge, or what Bradle and Bedrow thought, which they've done before when it comes to like a judge like Judge Doolin, is just keep pestering for the same thing over and over until the judge gives you what you want, or try to talk your way out of it, talk your way around what you want. And it might have worked for Judge Doolin, who plays golf with Bradle, and Judge Doolin should have recused himself, in my opinion. Okay, I think it was improper of Judge Doolin to even be on this case. Nonetheless, you're not sweet talking this judge. Not happening. You know what I mean? He admitted doing it. Right. It's not rocket science. It's whether it's First Amendment or not. That's the argument. That's it. That's the only argument. Anybody who thinks that was a successful day has brain damage. Okay. You know, what are those things called when you folded paper? Oh my God, it's the little pyramid things, and you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you open this one and you ask a question. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forget what those were called. I know exactly what you're talking about, though. Kind of exactly what Aiden was doing. Bradle, which one? Number 3. I can't. I literally can't. Yeah, exactly. So funny. The little fortune telling thing. Yeah, little fortune teller thing. I know there's like different names for it depending on where you go, but I know exactly what you mean. Oh, he has to brag. He needs people to pat him on the back, so he has to brag about it. You know? Well, that's the other thing. You can't file a motion to dismiss with the same substance as the other ones, or it fails on its face already to the court. So Cosgrove has already argued this motion to dismiss. All these same arguments were brought up in the failed first 2. Once the judge decides on it, you don't get a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth try and just add more innuendo and speculation to it. That's not the way it works. If those substantive questions have already been answered by the court and the judge said, no, it's denied, you cannot then bring those same issues back up and say, we're filing another motion to dismiss based on these same issues, but we're adding in this other thing that we can't prove and is speculative and we just made up. It fails on its face. There's no chance that that doesn't get denied. None. That motion to dismiss will be absolutely denied. Well, that's the thing. Cosgrove isn't calling her. Cosgrove has already said he's not calling her. So that's the judge pointed that out. It's like Mr. Cosgrove said he is not calling her. So the question is, are you? Are you? Well, we may. Okay, cool. Well, that's not going to be good enough. If you want to solve the problem, then you need to answer the question of if you're calling her or not. It's that simple, right? Right. It's not football, bro. A lot of these people go to Twitter law school. No idea what they're talking about. No idea. All right, let's finish the rest of this gaslighting because it's pretty bad.
If you're being sued by a witness, you shouldn't be examining the witness and summing up on their credibility when that witness.
And I'll point out, Bradle completely, Betterow seems to forget that his co-counsel here has brought up very serious issues of the witness's credibility, called her a liar, called her this, called her that, on the stand, on record, on court record. How are you going to get around that there, bud? I'd like to know, sir. Oh, wait, you're not.
Has testimony that could impeach other important witnesses.
And there's no testimony that could impeach other witnesses. You're not impeaching him committing witness intimidation. That is the judge's point, which is she's not going to impeach whether he committed witness intimidation or not because they weren't even dating at the time, right? You can argue that they followed him one day and watched what he did. Not illegal. Not illegal, bro. Not illegal. But that has nothing to do with whether he committed witness intimidation months prior, as the judge so rightly pointed out. You can't. That wouldn't even be allowed to be talked about. That'd be something that you'd be like, yeah, that's not relevant. We're not bringing that up. So, that's, you know what I mean? Like, stop it. Stop it. It looks like the judge did his homework on this case, which I'm actually pretty proud of because it looks like he's like, I've read all. So that's the other thing. The judge was like, I've read all your pleadings. You don't need to re-argue them to me, which is what Betterow and Bradle love to do, which is re-argue the entire thing. And that's simply for the turtle writers and the public and the cameras. It's not for the judge. It's not because it's an actual argument. It's for the public. Well, they mean Lindsay. They mean calling Lindsay. That's the one. That's the witness they're speaking of. But she wasn't dating him when the witness intimidation happened, so it's not going to be relevant to the case.
I don't know that the timing per se matters. Our issue is that for one reason or another, the prosecutor, the only prosecutor on the case, we believe has a personal interest in discrediting witnesses or a witness who has sued him and defending the credibility of witnesses whose credibility will be attacked by the civil plaintiff.
He sounds like an idiot. But
whether that happened now before, his personal interest is to
his personal interest is to clear his name. He basically tries to cry. Like, that's not his interest is to do his job. And you can't say that we're going to speculate a bunch of actual things that never happened and bring all these false assumptions and say he did all these corrupt things he didn't do. And so his interest is to clear his name. It's like, no, he's literally doing his job, and then you want to throw. So basically, they told the court that you all were unethical and doing illegal shit, and that you need to be thrown off. What do you think would happen there? You know what I mean? It's the same. It's a game to them. It's a game. An actual game. And the judge is not falling for it. He was very clear about that. I'm trying to skip to the part where Bradel, I think this is where Bradel opens his mouth and says a bunch of shit. Where insert foot here.
While we're here, guys, Judge Bellozo said something very interesting that I want every member of the media to think about. Okay?
Cool.
He said that he thought this case should be resolved by a jury, you know, as the conscience of the community, if you will,
Yep.
to decide whether this is a First Amendment issue or not. Now, we think that a journalist,
Here we go.
there's a few journalists here,
Oh, you
shouldn't
guys.
have to go through paying lawyers, risking their future in front of a jury. We think in this Commonwealth that judges should be a bulwark against this stuff. Judges should decide as a preliminary matter, should a journalist, should anyone speaking out, especially against the government,
Please.
have to go through this to get to a jury trial, to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, to spend all of this court time, years of court time, to decide if something is protected by the First Amendment. Judges in this state need to step up and stop these kinds of prosecutions. This is the most self-interested prosecution.
Oh my God, why are we buffering?
And it's clearly viewpoint discrimination. They didn't like what Aiden was saying.
Nope.
So they went after him. Who else have they ever gone after?
They didn't have to go after anyone else because no one else committed witness intimidation, you fucking buffoon.
In this regard, no one ever. So they're turning this statute on its head to go to suppress.
Let me be clear here. They didn't turn the statute on its head. They're actually applying it exactly the way it's written. So once again, another false claim. I'm Attorney Bradel. Shocker. More gaslighting.
Aiden's viewpoint. That is wrong. We've always contended the judges in this state should take care of that. He should not have to risk the whims of a jury, the vagaries of the jury system to vindicate the First Amendment.
One thing the court did seem confident in is getting this to trial as quickly as possible. What do you say from that?
If we have to do it, we have to do it.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
Facts would come out, but we believe it.
He says the facts would come out, but we believe. Yeah, the facts will come out. And as he says that, you can see how fucking afraid he is. Yeah, the facts would come out, Aiden, and it certainly wouldn't be good for you, bud.
Shouldn't come to that because, like,
Shouldn't come to that.
Time, money, still being on bail. These are things that no one should have to live with.
No one should have to be on bail for committing crimes, guys. Where? No one should have to live with being on bail after they commit a bunch of crimes. Why should they have to do that? He says, stupidly. Said no criminal ever.
Doing acts of journalism.
Where was the journalism again? Oh, that's right. There was none. Forgot about that.
They've gotten this far as our position, guys. And, every judge wants to move the docket, though. Every judge wants to move things along. We're doing our best we can. We're not going to go to trial on this thing until every bit of discovery is in our possession.
So do you see how Bradel turns to them? We're not going to go to trial until every bit of discovery. You know what that tells me? That tells me he's going to scream and yell about discovery that doesn't exist for months on end to try to push it off. And it's very clear to me that this judge is not going to play that game with him. He's just not. He's just not going to play that game with Bradel. I can already see what he's trying to do here long before he does it. Mark my words. I do this all the time where I predict something like this. And then what happens, those of you who have been with me long term, see, I know some of you recently have been like, did you see Lana's thing? And blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no offense to those of you that watch her and her streams, but, or her videos, but all the things that she's saying now in her recent videos are things that I have been saying for an extremely long period of time. And anybody who's been with my channel long enough knows that I nailed these things before they even happened. So this is very predictable, in my opinion. If you know the law like I do, and you have any sort of experience in the legal system in any aspect, some of these things that his attorneys try to play games doing are things that they've done before and things that are extremely predictable because it's the only things that they can do at this point to try to stall.
Possession, and there's still a ways to go. That's another battle we have to fight coming up. We're most interested, however, in the motion to dismiss. We want to get that going.
Good, let's get that going. Denied.
Goes anything?
No, actually, thank
All
you.
right, anybody?
All these people are like, no, I have no questions for you, idiot. We have no questions. We watched the hearing. Okay. It's embarrassing for you. We watched the fucking hearing. It is embarrassing for you. No, we don't have any questions for you, sir. Okay. No. Absolutely not. If I were the reporters, I would be laughing. All of you, we don't think you should have to have bail. We don't think you should have to do any of this. Everyone, we don't think so. We don't think so. Fight for Aiden or you're not fighting for yourself is essentially what they're trying to put into the public sphere, which is everyone's First Amendment. No one's First Amendment is going to be taken away when Aiden goes to jail. Okay? This has nothing to do with First Amendment. That's the argument they want to make, but it has nothing to do with First Amendment. Let's be clear. Yeah, they cannot. This judge is not going to do it, and clearly, and they've showed their hand too early. Bradel just showed his hand, and he was like, "Oh my, it's gotten worse, Your Honor." He's like, "How's the schedule look?" It's gotten worse. Immediately, the judge knew that he was trying to play games to push it back, and that's why the judge was very clear. This will not be pushed back. If anything, it'll go forward. And Bradel's way around that is going to be demanding discovery that does not exist. So he can put out in the public realm that there's something missing from discovery and they can't possibly go forth with a trial with missing discovery that doesn't exist. It's based on innuendo, speculation, or ridiculous, absurd delusions. And the judge ultimately is going to be like, show me evidence that exists. We're not doing fishing expeditions, Mr. Bradel. Denied. Someone else said that earlier. Yeah, that he was going to add more attorneys. Cool. He should pay for that. He should pay for that. I mean, those two aren't good enough. Those two are clowns. I don't know why anyone would hire them. Yeah, the judge does not want to play this game. Right? You've been with me a long time. There are people who've been with me even longer. They know. You know what I mean? These are things that I've been saying for a long time. So it's no offense to Lana, but a lot of the things she's saying are just essentially echoing everything I have been saying for a very long time now. You know what I mean? Yeah, no ways to go. No, there isn't really a ways to go. If the next hearing is March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, the judge is not going to, I'm telling you right now, this judge is not going to continue on until he's going to want to pull this up, especially if Judge Krupp makes a decision on the phones, for Karen's phones. If he says no on those, this judge is going to want to pull this case up by about 6 months. Guaranteed it. Well, he wants to hire more lawyers on everyone else's time. He's not going to pay for that. He doesn't want to pay for that. That's why he's thinking about doing more fundraisers, right? Like, hey, more fundraising. Sad. Well, that's the thing, right? She wasn't made a villain. Well, technically she was made a villain, just not in this community. But that was of her own doing, really. That was more to do with the Chris Watts case and all that shit. But nonetheless, these are things I've been saying for a long time. So some of it almost feels like it's being parakeeted from my own shows, to be honest with you, because a lot of the things that I say come from my personal knowledge of things that happen behind closed doors that no one else would know. So when other people say certain things that I've said, I know that they're listening to me before they're saying it, and they're just saying it because some of it comes from things that they couldn't possibly know. Right? So, it gives me a little bit of the ick. I agree with you there, Brian, that I feel like the jury pool has been tainted in this area in this whole shenanigan, but I do think that we also have to give some credit to the people in Massachusetts on being utterly disgusted with the shit that Aiden pulls. And I also don't think that he's dumb enough to try to get a trial. I do think he would try to take a deal, because if he does take it to trial, regardless of whether he ends up winning or losing, his reputation is going to be forever fucking damaged worse than it is right now because of all of the shit that's going to come out in evidence that he has done and he has said from his devices. And I promise you, he does not want that out. He does not. He simply does not. It's too damaging to his reputation. And I don't know how you could damage it more than like what you already have, I don't know. I'm trying to see. Hold on. Somebody just sent something to me, so I'm trying to see. Um, the judge did do his homework, 100%. You know, they don't freeze. That's the sad part. It's really quite sad. I don't know, man. I don't know. Now let me show you guys. Chris put it up, so I'll show you guys. Right? Yeah, well, that's because he fully believes that. He fully believes that people give him a percentage of their salary to hire more attorneys. You know? It does make me quite sad to see what people are willing to give for and what people are not willing to give for. So many of these people are willing to burn their money. And I've seen a lot of people lately too be like, I would like a refund on all the money that I gave Aiden because I didn't know he was such a fucking liar and a piece of shit. It's like, tried to tell you, tried to warn you, but what that does is it damages people's want to donate to actual people who aren't shitty people. You know what I mean? Like it damages people's trust in giving to anyone else after they've given to someone like him who shows his true colors on who he's been the entire time, right? And so then they're like, oh, now I'm never going to give to someone again, or I'm never going to, and that hurts people who actually aren't assholes, right? Like, and so that makes me sad, you know, because there are a lot of other people that do really good things that deserve that support. A lot of other people in different like categories, subjects, you know. Love me a good hot bench. Me too. Good hot mic too. You know? Oh, I get you. I get you. Believe me. I get you. I get you, my friend. I get you. I don't I I agree with you. I agree with you, you know? I agree with you. Um well yeah, because he's the attorney of record in Massachusetts. So they're practicing on Bradle's license. But Betero, what are they going to do if Bradle's license gets suspended for a year for that BBO complaint? Then what? Then they'd have to have another attorney from Massachusetts for Bradle to be able to, I mean, for Betero to be able to practice here. Does that make sense? Pro Hoc VJ. So in order for him to practice here, Pro Hoc VJ, he's got to practice on a lawyer's Massachusetts license. And if Bradle's gets suspended for the BBL complaint, then who? You know? Good morning, my dear. Now, this sweater, I was waiting for you to pop in, see if you were pop in, is compliments of Amy. I actually wore one yesterday to my nephew's birthday party, my dad's birthday, and I wore my favorite, which was the cheetah print, a little bit of cheetah print on the top. It's like a sweater and has a hood. But this sweater and that one and a couple others that I got Friday, I think. Sorry, I'm listening to something else in this ear to try to pick up something else. Our thanks to Amy. Amy sent me these beautiful, warm, by the way. This is super light, as you can see my finger through it, but super warm, and I always need. So thank you, Amy. I appreciate you, my friend. I love them. I love them so much. I love them. It's super warm and cute. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's what he thinks. Their wages. 10% to the Church of AK. Yeah, a lot of his checks sound like teenage girls, you know. Yeah, foreshadowing could be foreshadowing. Thank you, Kathy. It is super cozy. It's something I had on my wish list. I believe this one was one I had on my. Amy picked out some of her own that she liked. This one was on my wish list, I believe. Could be this one or could be one that she picked out. I had a brown one, but it is warm and it's cute and it fits comfortably and it's lightweight, but if it's warm, if that makes sense. Like I love it. I love it. It is cozy. It's very cozy. Great Aunt Pam, it's very cozy. I think he does. ultimately know that he is screwed. Ultimately screwed. You know. All right, I'm trying to find this thing for you on Chris's thing to show you. Hold on 1 second. Hmm. Let me go down a little to get it. Oh, damn. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, damn. Thank you, Amy. All right, let's see. All right. Trying to find Chris posted when it came to the judge. Oh my God, this is funny. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna show you this. Look at this. Look at you guys. Gotta
Yeah,
love
but a
this.
half-assed
Look
job
at the picture.
because of the weather conditions. You know, you can make that accusation. And
It's not an accusation. Lieutenant O'Hara
yeah,
testified.
you can draw that conclusion.
That's
and I have no
freaking
problem.
hilarious.
I'm not here
I
to defend the
can't.
police.
That is actually hilarious over there. Oh, you're totally welcome. You're totally welcome. But I might not get this. Hold on. Chris posted. That was the funniest thing. They're in a baby car seat. Freaking hilarious. Well, she also doesn't know a lot of the things that are happening behind closed doors, but a lot of those things are why it gives me pause on some of the things that she says on her streams, because the only way that she would know some of the things that she says and the way that she says them is if she watched me and she's just repeating it, or she spoke to me in person, which she hasn't, or like it just gives me pause when I hearing someone repeat things that not only I've said, but in a way that tells me that it wasn't information that they got themselves, or it wasn't their own opinion, that they basically took it from someone else and are just saying it as their own. A lot of bigger channels like to do that, and they kind of get away with it because they get more views than the smaller channels. And so people assume that the smaller channel took from the bigger channel, when in reality, the smaller channel sometimes does it first, or has the information first, and the bigger channel just takes the information and just has a bigger audience. You know, and that's why it makes it so hard for the smaller channels and the smaller creators. Oh, I'm positive that she does. I'm positive that she does. All right, hold on. I know it's right here somewhere. Chris posted it, and it's like shows perfectly what the judge said about the motion to dismiss and how fucking stupid he actually is. All right. Here it is, right here. Well, that's kind of what's going on a little bit. You know, it's unfortunate.
Okay.
But,
Well, let me play this up for you.
all right, so this is the clip that Chris put, and he was like, basically said like Aiden action, and Aiden put a tweet out saying the judge said our motion to dismiss was strong. Nope, not what the judge said, not even a little bit. And so here's the exact thing that the judge said. Ready?
Last thing, Your Honor had mentioned about a lawsuit being settled. That is not the lawsuit involving Mr. Cosgrove. There's no.
Sure, I looked at the docket this morning.
Not with him. That's with other parties to the litigation. Is my understanding.
Well, let me play this up for you. It's as I said. have some familiarity with this immunity issue, since I routinely see these motions. It's a very strong motion to dismiss. If that motion is filed and heard, again, an accusation is one thing. Well, let me play this out for you. It's, as I said, have some familiarity with it.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. So my point is the person says immunity, like the judge says, I've dealt with this immunity issue before, and then the person coughs when he says immunity issue, right? And then, sorry, I apologize, I was muted, I totally forgot. But I muted myself while it was playing, just so you can only hear the video. But then Federal argues before that and says, well, you're talking about the lawsuit, that's not the one with Mr. Cosgrove on it. And the judge is like, sure it is. I looked at the docket this morning. He's like, well, it's not. It is, actually. It is. Number one, Federal, you're wrong. Number one. Number two, the judge is like, I've seen this immunity issue before. If it is filed and heard, and he's speaking about Cosgrove, his prosecutorial immunity, and if Cosgrove files it and has it heard that he's filing to dismiss based on prosecutorial immunity, right? Like that's what the judge is talking about. So here we go. Listen to it again. The lawsuit that Beto is referring to is the same. It's the same. It's one and the same. She filed a suit to sue these people. It's all in the same docket. It's not a separate lawsuit.
Your Honor had mentioned about a lawsuit being settled. That is not the lawsuit involving Mr. Cosgrove. There's no.
Sure it is. I looked at the docket this morning.
Not with him. That's with other parties to the litigation, is my understanding.
Okay. Well, let me play this out for you. It's, as I said, have some familiarity with this immunity issue, since I routinely see these motions. It's a very strong motion to dismiss. If that motion is filed and heard, again, an accusation is one thing, but it would seem like there's a little bit more. You'd have to have some substance to it to actually disqualify. But I'll keep an open mind on it. Anything more?
Anything else?
No, I read all your stuff.
Thank you.
Anything more? Mr. Braley, anything?
No, Judge, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Carney, Mr. Cosgrove. If not,
last thing, Your Honor.
That's the clip. All right. He's not talking about Aiden's motion to dismiss. He's not talking about Aiden's mega motion. All right. Not in any capacity are they talking about Aiden's mega motion. So like an idiot, he goes home and tweets, the judge thought our motion to dismiss was strong. What? Sir, you're looking over at Harold in the purple crayon, whose head you can barely see, okay, above the podium. Sir, we're going to need to get him a step stool, Your Honor, all right? Can we get Mr. Betterow a step stool, all right? Just saying. Like, can we get him, a child seat, just booster seat? He needs a booster seat, okay? Can we get him one of those so we can see here? Nonetheless, they're not talking about Aiden's motion to dismiss. They're talking about if and when Cosgrove, which he most certainly will at some point, file a motion to dismiss on that civil suit based on prosecutorial immunity. I talked about this when his name was first thrown out there for that countersuit, which is there is no chance it survives with his name on it. It's in the course of his duties as a prosecutor, which gives him ultimate prosecutorial immunity. No judge is going to keep him on a lawsuit. Also, it was mellow at the time. It was handed over. The extraction was handed over as part of the discovery. I don't agree with the way it was handed over. It should have been redacted. Things should have been taken out of it. Lindsay's whole life should not have been handed over to that fucking buffoon and his idiotic lawyers to just release to the world, which we knew would happen, right? Definitely, in my opinion, the special prosecutor, who was mellow at the time, should have taken precaution to take out things that were not relevant to this case and to protect her and her children's and other people's privacy, and they didn't, right? That part is wrong. They should not have done it. But you cannot sue Cosgrove or Mello for making a mistake and not doing it because it's in the course of their duties as prosecutor. It's still prosecutorial immunity. What you should have done is sue the DA's office as a whole for privacy violations and damages for what it inflicted after. But suing them in their personal capacities is not smart. It's just not smart, dude. They have immunity. So it's just a waste of time and filing fees and money, right? Like that's what it's a waste of. So, fuck. See, it didn't, damn it. Didn't go back to the thing where Chris says it, but he had said, like, this is how dumb Aiden is at this point. Yeah, they were excited, apparently, for the sake of. I would have been excited too. Give me a wig. Let's do this. You're allowed to do that, actually. You can do your own, like, PI work if you want on your own case and not have to hire a PI to do it. You can do that shit all yourself. Not illegal by any stretch of the imagination, right? Could have totally done it yourself. There's no problem with that. But that has nothing to do with him committing the witness intimidation. So Chris wrote, TV thinks the judge was calling his motion to dismiss strong, wrong. And then there's, 1, 2, 3 clown heads. He's clearly referring to a motion to dismiss in LG suing Cosgrove. He understands the immunity argument to be made, and it's strong if and when filed. He's fucked. It's embarrassing. Aiden doesn't even understand what's happening. He doesn't understand what's happening because he's not fucking paying attention. He's too busy writing, is this going good? Circle yes or no to Bradle in notes and staring at Betterow, contemplating whether he needs to get him a fucking booster seat or not to pay attention to a single thing that's actually being said in his own goddamn case. Right? He never does. He can't comprehend. That's why. He's not smart enough to understand what the hell is going on or the legalese that's being spewed in the courtroom. So he just does everything else he can possibly do. Darts his eyes around, looks around, pretends like he's busy, whatever he's got to do. Like, the reality is he has no actual fucking idea what the hell is going on around him, and he never does. Which is, like, really sad, honestly, So anybody who was a witness could be called to testify, or a victim. So the remaining witness intimidation cases, I think Julie Nagel, I can't remember off the top of my head which ones remain and which ones don't, but most of the Alberts and McCabe's and Julie Nagel ones remained. They took the police officers off, basically. But yeah, they could be called to testify, but I don't think you're going to see much more than like actual real life. This is what he did because anything else is not relevant. Like nothing you're not going to hear anything about the Karen Reed case. Not a single thing, because it has nothing to do with his case and not relevant. It's not relevant. What you're going to hear about is what he did to commit witness intimidation. That's what you're going to see. That's it. It's the only thing you're going to see. It's not relevant. Nothing else is relevant, Let's see. Oh, God. The worst. Some of these people are literally the worst. Yeah, they're different cases. That would be like the conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. That would be a completely different, only about his harassment. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm fun-sized too, all right? Don't get offended. Don't get offended. I'm fun-sized. We're allowed to be fun-sized. He's not fun-sized, all right? Because he's not fun, right? He needs a booster seat. Maybe we could get him the pump up. You guys, not the pump up like the basketball ones, but like the bottom pumps up. It goes up like 2 inches. You guys remember those way back in the day? They were called like moon shoes or something. You just pump them up and they get bigger and bigger on the bottom. We get him some moon shoes. Maybe him and the Glare can, Mexican wands and Mexican air shoes. It's fine. It's totally fine. They can be matchies. Twinsies! They can twinning. They could totally be twinning. And they would love it too, because they're fucking simps like that. Absolute fucking simps like that. Right? You can bet your ass he's not going to. You can bet your ass he ain't going to. That's for damn sure. You can bet your ass he's not gonna. So sad. Some of these people are I wonder sometimes if they ever go home and look in the mirror and go, what did I just do? What did I just say? Why am I saying this? Why am I doing this? I do wonder if they ever get embarrassed when he ultimately shows that, like, you know, he's a liar and they just simp for him all that time for no real reason. I don't know. I don't know. Oh boy. Who's hosting this one? Okie dokie, artichoke. Well, also, let's just throw it out there that some of the actual insanity that's going on with some of these content creators is bonkers. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So I think it was, oh God, how embarrassing. I mean, I'm sorry. If any of you like Jessica Chat, I don't know how much more embarrassing she could possibly be at this point. I just don't. I really don't. I don't get it. How can you not be embarrassed with this shit that you say and do? I just don't understand. I'm just not understanding. Auntie Deb, just as bad. Not for nothing, but he's weirdly obsessed with Nan, and I'm not really understanding why. Like, why? Why are you so obsessed, bro? Why? Why are you so obsessed with Nan? What is your obsession, sir? Like, is that all you have to do? Just wondering. Is obsessed over Nan? Like, just not for nothing, but what did Nan ever do to Jimmy? What did she ever do to some of these people that she helped support all that time? What did anybody do to some of these people? For instance, when the Chime sewer crew, the pretend sewer crew, like Val and her idiot minions, what in the actual hell do they think is going to happen when all is revealed with Aiden? Like, do they think it's all going to be good and he's going to, like, get off on it all and all of his lies aren't going to be revealed to the world? Like, do they actually believe that? Or is it just the fear of what he's going to do to them, that keeps them saying the most ridiculous, nonsensical bullshit that anyone with 2 working brain cells could work out? It's not true. I don't get it. Well, yeah, duh. But it's like, for me, it's like, why are you, like, Nana helped a lot of these people succeed and build their channels. And it's like, you can't even take what you were given and be appreciative of the help that people gave you. Right? Like, I appreciate any and all help that comes my way, but you can't even just give people kindness and basic respect. And then what do you do is that help that you received from her, you try to use that against her as some way to make her out to be bad. No one that I know besides the sewer crew and Aiden himself can make something decent and good into something fucking bad. What if she's a secret billionaire, right? And she knows that she can help other people and ease the burden of your financial situation by helping. Why is that a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing? Simply because you don't like it? Well, you had no problem taking the money, right? It was all good when it came to you. So when the dog whistle comes and you know that you have to follow the leader and the mob, then it's okay to trash someone who is actively, kindly helping you and asking for nothing in return, because that dog whistle, okay, was blown. She's generous with her money in a way to help creators because she knows what it's like to try to fight day to day, right? And we're creators. It's not steady, right? It's not a steady amount that's coming in. And so from what I see, she tries to make it steady for the people that she supports. And I can appreciate the fuck out of that, you know? Like, I can appreciate her helping the people that she believes in steadily. You know what I mean? Like, cool. That's okay. But she never asked for anything in return. So I find it funny how easy they turn on their own people when they're not receiving the benefit anymore, right? Or when a dog whistle is blown from the turtle himself to hate someone. It's so quick for them to jump from we love you to we hate you. I mean, I watched it happen in real time when I had to deal with it. And then I watched it happen over and over and over and over to other people, right? Over and over. So to me, it's like, what the fuck is actually going on here? How can people turn a blind eye to, they love this person one day for however many months or years at a time, and then as soon as the turtle says they're bad, now it's time to harp on them? Come on. We've seen this play out so many times. Oh, yeah, no, she's just not a good person, Grammy. You know? Not okay. My niece and nephew are biracial. I'm also not fully white myself. I'm Spanish and white and Congolesian. We've been through this. But the point is she's not a good person, all right? She'll do whatever she thinks, and she's admitted that she'll just create drama and lie because it creates money. It creates donations to just lie and make shit up and create drama. I mean, that's gross. So creating drama also means you have to lie about people and throw dags at people that don't deserve it. That's who you want to be? Go right ahead. Not who I want to be. You know, not doing it. And that's how it should be. You come up with your own opinions, not based on, you know, all the lies or bullshit people push out, you know? I mean, I could never. I don't understand some of the shit that goes on over there. She is generous with her money, and, you know, it does ease the burden for people. And it's like, if I was getting $200 super chats 2 or 3 times a stream from just one person, like, you'd be pretty financially stable, at least for, like, you know, bringing in a decent income, because you're getting other super chats and other donations on top of that, as we can see for some of these people. So it's like, that's easing a lot of the burden, right? Like, if you can't appreciate that someone else is helping you ease that financial burden, then you probably have never really struggled a day in your fucking life and can't appreciate it. And if you can't appreciate it while you're living in your mother's basement, I don't know. I mean, look at Will, look at Jimmy, look at all the people that benefited from it. And it's just so easy to just turn on the people that helped them out for no real reason. Not because they did something horrible, not because they did something terrible, not because they did anything at all, right? Simply because the dog whistle was blown or someone got petty and jealous. Like, that's all it's about. That's it. Legal commentary? She definitely shouldn't be doing legal commentary. She has no idea what she's talking about. She tried to claim one time that you could do a copyright strike on someone else's content, just claim it as your own. Like, no, what? No, you cannot. No. Like, yeah, and Melanie Little, too. She's got some weird obsession with Nan, too. Isn't there like a commercial where it's like, I want money, please? I can't remember what commercial that was from. It's probably the 90s, but I remember a commercial that said that. That's what just popped into my head when I read your comment. But you're right. Melanie has some weird obsession. And it's like, what is it? Jealousy? I don't get it. Like, what? Not for nothing, but Melanie Little shouldn't be doing legal commentary either on criminal law, because she has no actual idea what the fuck she's talking about. She should have stick to the civil law in her state that she practiced fucking 10 years ago was the last time. Okay? More than 10 years ago was the last time she practiced civil law in her fucking state. All right? Weird. Weird. Well, it's the same cult, though, Freeze. Jess Machado, Will the Glairer, Auntie. It's all the same cult. That's the sewer crew. That's Aiden and the sewer crew. They take all of their cues from him. You know what I mean? That's exactly it. That's exactly it. She built it on watching them do what they do so that she could do what they did. You know? Yeah, it's just medical, as far as I understand, like medical law, I believe, which is usually big money. Medical cases are big money, you know? Yeah, I don't get it. It looks like Melanie's just jealous, but she also has all these weird, exaggerated, well, they'll do that too. If Aiden finds someone useful, as he thinks he finds Lindsay right now, they'll do the same thing. Go back from the I hate you, we hated you to I love you as soon as he says it. I mean, if that does not scream to you that something is wrong, I don't fucking know what to tell you at that point, you know? I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty bad, you know? It's pretty bad. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I agree with you, Freeze. And then we have Jess Machado, who's also very obsessed with Jen Altman. She's very obsessed with Jen Altman, like all the time. She brings up Nan and Jen Altman all the time. Like, what? Well, yeah, I mean, if somebody doesn't understand, like, how bad that is, right? Like he's going from I love you to I hate you, or I hate you to I love you on a whim. Because Aiden said so. And you don't understand why people are telling you that it's a cult, or why people who have made it out of it have literally admitted it's a cult. And you live in fucking La La Land, you know? Well, that's the thing. She'll never be taken seriously ever again because of this. That's her own doing, you know? Everything is a popularity contest. I would never give my address out on the internet because crazy people have come to my home before, sent crazy things to my house, death threats, all sorts of shit because of the turtle cult, and it is not safe. Plenty of people probably would send things directly to my house if I did that, right? Guess the perks of giving out your address, but it's a safety issue. No chance I'm doing that. Very few people have my direct address. There are very few people that I do trust that have it, and that's it. I think she just wants more unboxings, to be honest, right? I honestly think she just wants more unboxings and more this and more that. Venmoing her husband is weird. I can see once in a while, like your husband joining your show and people being like, oh, let's send him $20 so he can get coffee today. Once in a blue moon, you know? Like, because he works hard, whatever, like, whatever. But all the time, that's weird. That's fucking weird, dude. I've never seen that happen to like, unless they're running the channel together as like a 2-person channel. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't understand it. Once in a while makes sense. All the time, no. Yeah, I agree with you, Amy. Oh my God, show me the money, Jerry McGuire. Show me the money. Show me the money. Gotta love that movie. Got to love it. Yeah, we will. There are a couple coming up that I'm going to cover. A couple trials coming up I'm going to cover. Yeah, I got what you were. I picked up what you were laying down. I just wanted to give my comments on it too, you know. And I like to like re-comment on reply to people who comment on my stuff, just because like I want them to know I saw it and like what I think too, you know. But I totally agree with you there. Like that's exactly the type of people that I mean. Melanie Little is willing to lie to her audience to keep the turtle writers on, so they'll send her more money. It just is what it is, you know. If this was only about money from you, I would have left a long time ago. Let's just throw that out there, okay? Yes, it's a way to make a living. And yes, every creator wants to be able to do that, right? But I'm not willing to sit there and lie for it. And I'm not going to do it. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. I knew what I was going to lose when I chose my opinion on Karen's case. When the evidence came out and my, evidence led me where it led me, and I was going to speak out when it came to Aiden, I knew what that would cost me. I had to make that choice. I still made it. I knew I was going to lose a ton of subscribers, and I lost thousands. I knew I was going to lose a ton of money, and I still have not recovered from that. But it's more about, can I fucking sleep at night and look myself in the mirror if I'm just lying to people for more money? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. I did not waste more than a decade of my life. I'm not going to say waste because it's not a waste, but I'm saying like away from my family, helping other people and helping their families, just to magically not have that same thought process and same like boundaries now. Like, no, those are the fucking boundaries. Like, I have to be able to sleep at night. I have to be able to look at myself in a goddamn mirror. And if you just lie to stay in the sewer cult, right, because you're going to get more super chats or you're going to get more donations, like, then what do you fucking stand for at that point? You know? What do you stand for at that point? You're not standing for anything. Not a goddamn thing. She is obsessed. Like, dude, you don't live here, lady, all right? You don't live here. You don't practice criminal law. You sound like a fucking idiot half the time when she talks about the judges and the law, and she's bitching about the judge the other day, and she sounded like an actual idiot, okay? You don't fucking live here, Melanie. Stay in your lane, all right? You're so worried about the place where I live. Like, worry about where the fuck you live. Worry about that. How about that? Or is it just that you think it'll bring you in more money, right? Oh my God, I remember that commercial. It's my money and I want it now. Oh, wasn't that? Oh, I can't remember what company that was, but I remember that commercial. I remember it. Well, yeah, there are lots of useful idiots. Lots of useful idiots. I feel like they have nothing else to do. Yeah, at this point, some of these people, you know, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't put it past them, you know. Said former, right? It's a cult, said former cult member me. You're not the only one. You're literally not the only one. You're one of many, many, many people. Many, many people. You know? It's just sad. She doesn't care about Norfolk County. She doesn't care about the people that live here. She doesn't care about our state. She doesn't care about any of it. None of it. None of it. You know? None of it. Brian and Mike at least decided to like step up and say something about fucking Aiden, and I applaud them for that because not a lot of people are willing to do that, especially in the sort of freak Karen Reed like realm, because that comes at a cost. And Brian and Mike dealt with the consequences of speaking up against Aiden. You're going to lose subscribers and you're going to lose money. That's how it's going to work, you know? But at least, fortunately for them, they had much bigger channels when that happened, so it didn't sort of sink them all the way. For me, I wasn't big enough for that to not make a dent, you know? I can't believe the judge said your name, but it was funny that it was in like a sarcastic way where he was like, you know, we're not going to with the Jen McCabe's and the Leah Gendusos and the, like, he was basically being like, we're not going to go through all these people's names you listed off with no real fucking evidence about nothing and just say like this one does this and that and the other thing, which I thought was funny. I know. I was actually shocked that he said it correctly. I was kind of shocked, but he did. He did. Well, that's because she uses a filter. She looks artificially preserved. She should have passed 7 years ago. It's a filter. That's a filter. In real life, she does not look like that. Tales from the Crypt. She's not the Crypt Keeper, dude. What do you mean? That's her buddy. The Crypt Keeper is her buddy. The Crypt Keeper. Like, listen, I use my cup and I remake. So I use my Mary Lou's cups, and what I do is I clean out these Mary Lou's cups, and then I make cold in the morning. So like I might get it twice a week, and then I will use the cup, clean it out, because I know where on the cup to put like the sugar, the creamer, and so I make it in my Keurig. I make a big thing of I get the K cups of Mary Lou's, and then I make a big thing of the kind for that, and then a big thing of Swiss Miss. Because that's the mocha in this, that's what they use. And then you put it in the fridge, and then you mix it together at home. Well, there's 348, but there's a lot more over on X. Yeah, I don't know how anybody listens to some of this shit. Right. If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything. Everybody's heard that quote. I mean, it rings true. J.G. Wentworth. That's it. That was that commercial. J.G. Wentworth. Oh, my God. I totally forgot about that. Stay in your zip code. Or just stay in your lane and pump your fucking brakes smelling a little. You're about to crash, right? And cause a 3-car pileup, dude. Pump your damn brakes. Like, pump your fucking brakes, you know? And that's the thing, is it's like there's a lot of just bullying. His mega motion was mega shit, all right? It was about as solid as puppy shit, all right? Literally. It's just bonkers that anybody read that, quote, mega motion and said, oh, that's good. There's nothing good about it. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Not even a little fucking bit. All the legal professionals that I spoke with about that mega motion said that those lawyers should be embarrassed. You put a fake medical condition in a actual thing in court for the judge to read. That's fucking embarrassing. Well, that's the other thing. No one ever heard of Bettero until Mike had him on. Mike was the first person to have him on. So everybody started liking him when he was coming on Mike's shows. So then, you know, when people start liking him, then all of a sudden, like, you're going to attack Mike and Brian. Like, no one would even know who the fuck Bettero was. And not for nothing, but I don't think he's very good. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's just sad. The whole thing is sad. There's a lot of people that I wish had listened a long time ago, and I know I've said it a long time, but I feel like this has just gotten out of hand, you know? Right? You know, if the money flow starts to change and it's more support for the truth, I will eat my hat. But it just doesn't happen. People would much rather send a super chat or a donation to someone who's creating drama and like is in the thick of it to hear the tea than they are, and even if it's not true, you know, than to support people who are giving the God's honest truth, because it's more salacious, you know, it's more salacious. It's more, people want to know more about the tea. They don't want to know more about the truth. They want to hear about the conspiracies that don't exist, right? And for a long time, I'm like, is this why people send money to Grant? Like, 'cause, I mean, if you don't know that he needs help at this point, I really don't know what to tell you, because there is a lot of fuckery, you know, a lot of fuckery. And if you know Grant needs help, I don't know what to tell you. What? Uh-oh. Self-snitching on himself. Aiden's good at that. He's good at self-snitching on himself. Here he does it again.
Because he's horrible and he's old and he's going to get, I've already beat him once in a trial and I'll beat him again. No problem.
Okay.
I beat him in a trial where I was clearly within 100 yards of
you
Lindsay
were.
Gattani, who had a restraining order on me. Clearly, like undeniably, admittedly so. I'm busted. I'm within 100 yards of her, right? And I still won.
What does that tell you, folks? Here he is admitting to said crime where Judge Doolin found him not guilty, even though the COs from the court testified he was there, shouldn't have been there, knew he shouldn't have been there. And Judge Doolin finds him not guilty with all of the evidence showing that he absolutely is. Video, pictures, the whole shebang. And here he is admitting later on, yep, he was there, he was within 100 yards, and he shouldn't have been. That's fucking sick.
He's still, and I was at a bench trial. They couldn't convict me with that. How the fuck are they going to do this complicated case with this guy?
I mean, he's brain dead to actually say this in real life, right? How are they going to do a complicated case where I video recorded myself doing everything and said contradicting statements and self-snitched on myself over and over and over and tried to threaten, blackmail, and commit more witness intimidation and illegal wiretapping and did all of these things to cover my own ass? How on earth are they going to convict me of that just because Cosgrove?
This guy, I don't benefit from him being taken off the case unless
he's such a liar. He's such a fucking liar. That's the whole reason they want him off, because they think nobody else will pick it up. Your idiotic attorney just said the same thing when we just played the interview. I don't think they'll find anybody else to pick it up. They couldn't on the last ones. And so here he is lying straight to his audience's faces. I'll also point out, where the fuck are his pupils? In his pocket? In his pocket? Are they in his pocket? I mean, this dude looks peanut butter and jam sandwich, in my opinion. Peanut butter and jam sangy. Are your pupils in your pocket, sir? Are they hiding somewhere? Where the fuck are they? Okay? Where? You look like you've been crying for 7 days. Like, where are your pupils?
Unless you're saying that you can't replace him, which is
exactly self-snitches once again. Once again. You know? Like, what? Well, see, that's the difference is he gets his, quote, press pass from the SJC, and they denied him multiple times over multiple years, and then Bradle, like, threatened to sue them or something, and they issued it for Karen Reed's thing, and it's like, no. He shouldn't have one. It's that simple. There's nothing journalistic about him. He does not follow any sort of ethics. He has shown that all he'll do is pick up charges, right? Right, he is his own content. He is King Ratchet, my friends. You know, oh my God, imagine. They couldn't, and he's very sick, but imagine, oh my God, that would be a conflict. But imagine, where are his pupils? I just want to know. Someone give me the answer to where the peanut butter and jam sandwich pupils are. You know, I'm just saying. But that's how delusional he is he knows, okay, yeah, in his pocket. He knows he's never going to win these cases out, right? He knows he's caught dead to rights, just like he knew he was caught dead to rights in the thing with Lindsay's restraining order thing. He knew he was caught dead to rights. He knew, 100% knew. But this is what this is the idiotic shit we have to deal with, folks. Where he lies straight to his audience faces without a care in the fucking world, and they eat it up. And they eat it up like dum-dums. Like, wake the fuck up, people. Wake up. We've tried to help you.
and you have refused to listen. And I know there's many of you who have said to me before, like, I apologize. We should have listened to you, Elise. Like, but we're here now, and I appreciate you being here now. That does mean a lot to me. It does. It really, really does. I want you to know that. Yeah, he does seem to forget what the topic of these charges are. He seems to, like, go off on these tangents about all these things that he thinks everyone has a conspiracy against him, and he forgets that that's not what his case is about. You know, that didn't even save him. That didn't even save him, because in that video, the officer tells him to go over there. Go over there. And Aiden goes, oh, so then what he tries to do is to talk over the officer and speak for him, because he knows what he's doing, because he's recording it on purpose. And so the officer's like, go over there and we'll figure it out. It is his job to know where he's supposed to be and not where he's supposed to be. He knows he's not supposed to be there, even after the officer told him, go over there. Didn't say where, right? Because he was pointing over there. Aiden goes, over here, so I can be right here. And the cop starts to talk, and he goes, okay, so I can be right here? He answers for him. That's not what the cop said. He answers for him, and he does it so that the camera can hear him saying that and can't hear what the officer is saying. Because the officer never told him it was okay to be right there. He said, go over there. He says, I don't know where she is or who she is or where you're supposed to be. And what that means is, sir, it's your fucking order. It's your responsibility to know where you're supposed to be and where you're not supposed to fucking be. Not only that, but then after that, he decided to, when she came out, hide in the bushes, okay, take pictures and video, and then as they were walking down the street, hide in the bushes all the way down, following her down to take videos and pictures. He's caught dead to rights doing what he was doing. You know? Well, I mean, his parents have 7 children, and none of the other 7 children act like this. So, you know, yeah, they're in his pocket. He keeps them in his pocket for good, just good measure. Keep my pupils in my pocket. It's fine. It is for content only. It's not reality, Oh yeah, he loves doing that one. That's one of his favorites. Is someone who was giving him money, or he would always see in his chat. If they decide that they no longer like him or they don't agree with him on something, he will actually contact them on X or Facebook or whatever and write them a message. And at first he'll try to be nice and be like, try to like convince them to come back, basically. Like, that's sick. Like, that's, again, cult behavior. Convince them to come back to his stuff, right? And when he can't convince them and they kind of tell him off a little and they're like, no, I'm not, you're just a piece of shit. Then he goes off and goes, well, no one likes you anyway and die in a hole and you suck anyway and blah, blah, blah. Well, you weren't saying that 5 minutes ago when you were contacting them just to try to convince them to come back, you fucking psychopath. You weirdo. Now, it was 19, some of them were dropped, but you know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of shit we're dealing with here, folks. Like, this is the real life. Like, he says one thing to the camera and he means the opposite. Let's just be clear here, okay? Let's be clear about what the fuck he means versus what he does. They're two very different things. Very different things, okay? Very, very different. I can't. I literally can't. It's just gross to me. A lot of these people just want us to shut up and go away. That's what they want. Because when more people and more people and more people step up, that's only when it stops. It doesn't stop until enough people stand up and say, this is not okay. This shit is not all right. This is bad behavior. We have therapists who are turtle riders. Therapists who are out here making the most horrific comments about people. The most horrific comments. Like, this is nutty, dude. This is nutty. Like, if you're a therapist and, like, you're buying into this, like, cult-like behavior, you should probably quit your profession right now. You're not good at it. You're not good at your job. You should probably quit. If you think it's okay to go around and harass targeted people that the Super Turtle says are bad because he said so, and you're a therapist, you need to seek help of your own therapist. You have your own mental health issues and you shouldn't be trying to treat anyone else. It's just saying. Like, that's real life. That's what we have going on right now. That's sad. That's fucking sad. Those are some serious, serious concerns. But these people are willing to throw away their careers. They're all of it, just to simp for the turtle, make it make sense. Someone tell me that's not a cult when it is a cult. I don't get it. It doesn't make no sense to me at all. Aw. Someone says it's $5. I'm not gonna obviously read their real name. But it's a very nice note. It says, sorry, can't be more right now. Listen, no matter what you send, it's always a help for the channel. We run only on the donations of all of you. So it's not like this is $5 and she says, sorry, it can't be more right now. It is more. It's what you gave, and what you gave is more than enough. Don't ever think it's not enough or it should be more. It's what you gave means something, no matter how little it is, you know. It shows support. It shows that you appreciate it. And people who can't support because they can't afford to give $5, believe me, I get it. I'm in that, you know, category. Most of the money that I make, if there's anything extra here, goes to like groceries. Okay, so don't ever think it's not enough if it's only $5 or $3 or $2. It all adds up and it all makes a difference. But she said, please keep shining on the light on TV. He's more dangerous than most realize. And believe me, I get it. People assume that in order to be dangerous, you need to be stabbing or shooting people, and that's just simply not true. The amount of wreckage and damage this man causes in full families and people's lives is astronomical. It's bad. It's really bad. And simply why? Not because these people are bad people, and no one's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, right? Everyone. We learn in life. That's how we learn, is you make a mistake and then you learn from that mistake, right? You never know what someone's going through. You never fucking know. You really don't. So to think that it's okay to use other people's mistakes that you've made, but you keep hiding them from the public as some sort of way into shaming them as content shows that you're a very deranged individual. But even more than that, to lie about people in the way that he does, to try to destroy people's livelihoods, reputations, families, to use a mob of people and lie to that mob of people to get them riled up against someone, you are a sick individual. You're a dangerous individual, because all the while here you are committing various crimes, wiretapping, blackmail. You're trying to take from other people by lying to them and hiding your own crimes while you call everyone else names and lie about numerous people simply because they support someone you don't like, simply because they speak out about the horrible things that you do, because they're not afraid anymore. You can't stand someone who's not afraid of him, because the narcissist's greatest control is fear. So if I don't fear you, then I'm a problem. I don't fear him. There are quite a few other people at this point that don't fear him. Fear can be crippling, but it's for a fleeting moment. It's just for a fleeting moment. Fear can be replaced with things like love, ambition, kindness. I can decide to not be afraid of someone. He's not one of those people I will ever. He's done so much damage to other people's lives. There's nothing else he can do other than run his fucking mouth, which is what he already does. And for the people who are already recognizing it, I applaud you. The people who have been fighting a long time, even if it's been behind closed doors, I see you. Believe me. Believe me. Many of you don't come out into the public, and I talk to you privately, and I still applaud you. You do great work. Even sharing with me what you share, that's still doing something. It's better than nothing. There are plenty of people who choose to just simply say nothing. And that's how he's gotten away with it all this time. This was fear tactics, fear-based tactics, threats, blackmail, extortion, wiretapping. It's how he's been getting away with it for 10 plus years. There are too many people who are no longer afraid of him, sir. Enough is enough. Maybe it takes sitting in prison for a really long time, but diabetes can't be cured. Narcissism can't be cured. He will always be who he is. Always. He will always try to use coercive control, mental and emotional abuse. Those are things he will always try to use. Simply sad, because he targets the most vulnerable. People who can't always fight back, don't have the time or the money. It's who he is. It'll be who he always is. Just know that. And I hope that those of you that are starting to see the light realize that you're not alone. You're not alone. It is important that people, and I understand why some people might not, you know? Yeah, they don't get it. They don't get it. And so many people have already lost their careers because of him, lying for him, helping him, doing shit they're not supposed to do with their jobs just to help him. Like, it's not worth it, guys. I promise you, you know? Yeah, the tea is, yeah. Well, the tea is also things that happen behind closed doors that don't happen in the realm of social media and spaces and X, the things that people wouldn't know, you know? It's also the tea people are looking for. But it's very important that people push back on him and his flying monkeys. Because if you don't fight fire with fire sometimes, like, you know, people are like, well, you can't always, you know, do it because if you're shaming someone who did something horrible to someone else, then you're doing the same thing he's doing. And it's like, in a way, that's true. But sometimes, this is why I say sometimes for the most vile of them, fighting fire with fire when they're using fake accounts and uncovering who is behind that account lets them know that, like, this is not okay. You're doing it to other people. So if someone uncovers your identity, are you going to want that? Because they will. Right? It's like some of these people, unfortunately, not all of them, but some of them need to have fire fought with fire because otherwise it just does not compute. It just doesn't. They don't seem to understand. And a lot of these people just think you can log off. Oh, we'll just log off if you don't like it. Really, let them know how to log off of their real lives when people are sending them death threats to their phones for months and months and sometimes years. It's been seven years and people can't stop with Leah. 7 fucking years. Aiden still mentions her name. People still message her. 7 years and she moved many states away. 7 fucking years. So if you think just not saying anything will somehow fix it, you got another fucking thing coming. You got another fucking thing coming, my friends. No, they can't. They cannot stop manipulating and they never will. You know? It's all so just shit, you know? Yeah, I don't know why she would ever call him she's not a journalist. You know what I mean? Right? He might be. Yeah, we went over the Sue stuff earlier. So if you want to see the stuff we went over about that, the tweets that she made, the tweet that he made, we did that in the beginning of the show. So that's definitely something you can catch up on when we're done here, and we're just about to be in a second. I do love all your stinking faces, but it is 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I am hungry. I'm hungry. I want to have my lunch, man. I want to have my luncherino. I need to try to go to the store for nighttime. I want to thank all of you, per usual, for stopping by and hanging out on a Sunday. Thank Allie for sending her $10 super chat, and thank Carly. Appreciate you. Appreciate those of you that donated to the channel, and there are many other ways to do so. So if you're catching me on the restream, you can still donate even when I'm not live, and then I just read it on the next one, of course. But there are a million different ways you can support the channel. You can hit the like button. Appreciate it if you guys did that on the way out, of course. You can share the stream, right? You can hype the video when it's not live anymore. That's a new thing YouTube is doing to try to help the smaller creators, and it does help a little bit. Depends on how many people hype your video. But if enough people do, then they give you like one day where they like push it out in the algorithm and more people watch it. So it does help a little. But it's only ever happened one day to me where they like pushed it out and they told me they were going to. So many people hyped it or whatever. But it's not consistent because YouTube isn't consistent like that. But there are other ways to donate. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all of the other options, including the link for debit and credit. That's pinned to the chat right now. But it's also in the description of the video along with our Amazon wish list and the other options, which are like Chime and Revolut, along with the Cash App and the Venmo and the PayPal. We have an option for everyone. I love your stinking faces, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Have an amazing Sunday.